just living my life, just living my life, just living my life. Just living my life, just living my life, just living my life. It's my time. Just living my life, just living my life, just living my life. It's my time. Just living my life, just living my life, just living my life. It's my time. I came from Philly, then I moved to Harrisburg. Spent time in Cali, blowing on the rarest herb. Made some bread, was a manager then. Good at dealing with people, couldn't handle the pen. Money had me scrambling like Randall back then. Ups and downs with my chick, hard to handle it, man. What's the dough really mean without family and love? Still go for your dreams, but put family above all the shallow shit. People try to take you off your path, you don't allow that shit. Stop wanting love from those that don't know you. Appreciate your folks that seen what you go through. Why would I stop? I don't even know how. Papa Zan, that's the only way I'll slow down. I could entertain y'all, but I'm no clown. Puff and puff on that L till it blows down. Just living my life, just living my life, just living my life. Just living my life, just living my life, just living my life. Just living my life, just living my.
Damn, I love that song.
And we are back. It's a fun intro, right?
It is.
All right. So this is part two of the Wicked. This is like my second part 2 interview, and I like it. I keep them a little shorter, not super short. It's an hour 45, but. Listen, it's fun.
When you start talking about something, especially when you're on podcasts,
you just go.
Or videos, you just go. And like, I remember we did a What Up Peeps one, and I was like, man, I don't know if I want to publish like 3 hours. So we'll
fuck
do
it.
That's
a legit conversation.
I actually started doing my editing. I used to just go listen to the whole thing, and I'm like, man, this is too long to edit. And I said, why don't I just do it what Mr. Blackwell does? And I'll just throw the whole thing up. I don't care.
That sounds like professional.
Do you
like that?
Well, I do care. Don't say like I don't care.
No. I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care what I say or do or whatever. But there were some times like we were just talking about this that I had to take off and edit some things, and I'm like, no.
Sometimes we'll say things that are like.
That has happened.
Everything's off the cuff.
So that has happened. I had a few episodes where stuff was said on certain shows. I had to get rid of it. It just recently happened on a show. I don't know if it's going to make the cut. I actually said something that could be deemed as offensive.
Oh yeah, no, I do too. And like I usually get like, okay, you said in the last version that you liked the whole Lana thing, the Lana wedding. I literally thought it was offensive that Liv was playing a lesbian while Sonya is a real lesbian.
And they tried to play that. They tried to play that angle, and they weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
Right, and it kind of was like.
So I said in an interview recently, it's not out. I mean, it'll be out by the time this one airs. But we were talking about fireworks in a certain context, and I've always called them chinkies.
Okay, see, that's where I was going to go too, because every time we do a What Up Peeps, I always end up doing like a really stereotypical Chinese voice.
I had to cut this, by the way.
Yeah.
our last one.
So like,
oh, I'm so sorry.
Like, yeah.
No.
He's like, yo, we're so into Asians. And I'm like, yo, we can't.
So that's
2019.
That's something we talked about too. So obviously there was a podcast recently where a guy from SNL used to do a podcast, and then he said he made a very offensive joke about Asian people, and I said on our show, like, Asians get it really bad. Like, people were like, I will never say the N-word, but I will say every offensive thing about Chinese or Asian people because no one cares. And I think that's fucked up. Now, what I said, the firework joke, I was kind of, it's fucked up.
By the way, Asians, I care.
Listen, my wife's Asian. I love her to death. But I said the term, I don't know what they're really called. And it's like, my mom has the same thing where she has this one thing she calls, and she uses the N-word, and it's a super offensive term, but that's all she's ever known.
Different timeline.
It's like a nut, a certain nut you eat. It's like a darker nut.
Okay.
And they call them blank toes.
Oh, interesting. There used to be a candy.
I know what you're talking about. They're brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when
the ones you don't eat, nobody eats those.
My mom likes them. So when I said the fireworks, I said chinkies because I didn't realize how that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not going to unedit it because I'm not doing it to be offensive. I just and I said saying it like that's probably a term that I just call them firecrackers.
I probably have the video somewhere, and this is one of the grandma videos I can't air. There's a candy from when she was a kid, and they still exist today, but they're these little black babies.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, N-word babies.
Yep.
I'm like, what?
My mom was the same way.
Yo, it's 2020. You can't talk about that.
Well, yeah, I'm like, Jackie, 2020. She's like,
She don't know. She also saw some dementia, so she, yeah.
Well, it's funny with her. I always ask her that. I always tell her that she owes me $20. It's like a long joke with me. With her. Like, you still owe me $20. Well, she goes, I can't do it because I need money, and go ask Alex. Maybe Alex could just he always tells me no. I just need your approval.
I'm gonna ask her that too next time I see her.
Oh, please do.
What's funny is
I don't know if I got paid yet.
He gave me $20.
You son of a bitch.
You got your $20. So we left off last time on you were just
rants and reviews,
getting to the point where you were just meeting each other, and we didn't get into the list.
Okay.
Oh no, we did. We did get into the list.
Into some of the list, yes.
So we're on rents. Yeah, we are on rents reviews. You're right. We did get into the list. I do apologize.
Well, let's back up to the list a little bit. We rehash it. The list was basically things I wanted: PS4, different kind of games.
Real quick,
yes, sure.
Just to get the quick intro. If you guys like what you hear and you've liked part 1, once again, all the links are below. You can check out the Wicked Turtle Network. Buy some merch from them. Buy some merch from us.
Is it teespring.com/stores/Wicked Turtle?
I'm imploring you to go buy their merch and not mine, because
buy his too. He's got cool merch here, but
buy their stuff. No one's buying mine
Literally,
either.
we're both copyright infringing.
One of mine is the tornado tag.
Yeah.
The Tornado Mania one's definitely.
We're all about it.
This is not. This is an original design by my wife.
Yeah, it looks very similar to Wednesday nights.
Listen. Yo, you got to go with what's hot. Yo, the best shirt that we've had is our original Bullet Club shirt that we have.
Whoa. That's not what it's called.
That's not what it's called. It's called the Wicked Turtle Club.
Things that go in guns club shirt. But that's like our best shirt that people love. And I was like, yo, wife, you're an artist. Make something cool. And she made this. And I was like, that's cool. So.
I want to make an NXT style shirt.
These shirts
they
from
are very
Teespring
nice.
are actually very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wish they sold hats. I want hats.
Okay, get one for it. They do. They have knit. They have the skull caps. The skull caps are.
I've never seen it on their site.
You have to unlock them. It's weird. It's like a video game. You have to unlock that.
Really?
Yeah.
I messaged them. I'm like, can I get a fucking hat on this site?
Yeah.
And they're like, you can bring your own. I'm like, no, that's the way I picked your site.
He's a good embroiderer guy that could make us stuff.
I just want a hat.
Simply Havoc.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Havoc the wrestler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does embroideries.
Oh, there you go.
My mom used to do embroidery.
Send them your logo. That'd be cool. I'll buy one.
I want to get fucking Sambo shirt, like how the Sambo show has like the track jackets. They're sharp. I want one.
Those are cool.
They do that too.
Yeah.
He just messaged me about that.
I want a tornado tag one like that. I told him if I buy it, I'm 100% stealing off you. I just think they're cool jackets.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But all right, so we're back.
Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead, brother.
all right. So there was the list. What was I going to say?
PS4,
all these stuff.
4G.
Hopes and I had already knocked that off the bucket list years
ago. Get it, boy.
Oh my God, the stories. Anyway, so we're talking. And
mine was with Amish.
I had said like how I did the
Amish orgy.
I met Kevin Smith. I would make periodic trips down to Red Bank and actually get to know the comic book guys. Like
from the comic book one. I want to go there so bad.
Me too.
It's amazing.
Let's do it. Road trip.
I literally did
down.
A zombie run like through the Wells Fargo Center with Ming and Mike.
That's cool.
It was phenomenal.
I won't buy. There's two I'm a huge Batman guy. There's two Batman books that were made by Walt that I won't buy unless I will only buy them in. Even if Walt's not working, I don't care if they're signed.
Just go during the week; he'll be working.
I just want to buy those books and buy them from that store.
Oh, it's a great.
Oh yeah,
story.
and they're going to be there now. I heard that show's got
canceled.
show's
canceled.
Yeah, so they'll be there.
But no, like, during the week,
which is a fucking shame because that was a great show.
It was a great show.
It was a great show.
Way to promote comics.
Actually, the board we're using is the Zoom Live Track 8 L8. When they promoted this board, they used Ming as the main guy who used the board first to try it out for them.
Right on.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all good dudes, man. So like I was just inspired by that to really want to do podcasting, but I never had anybody to do anything with. And just like I had the theater family and I had the Circuit City family, I was never motivated to do anything on my own because I didn't have the belief or confidence in myself. But when I have somebody else that's there, and like I'd never believed in positive reinforcement.
What holds you back confidence wise?
I don't know.
Himself.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if it's...
He always doubts himself.
No,
It's like,
some people would say like it's my outward reflection, like you're a bigger dude. But
No,
you
it's
took
never that.
You took videos of yourself stripping naked, so that's not it.
It's never a body thing. I've always wondered if I am who I think I am. You know, like is somebody else's perception of me my perception of me? Yeah. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it's really not. But I needed somebody. Back in high school, if I had positive reinforcement, I would have shut down. Like in football, people are like, "Oh, I want to come out to your games. I want to cheer you on." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Don't do that. I don't like the recognition. I'm embarrassed by it." So I would stop. I would quit. I quit football because I didn't want my family coming to the shows and cheering me on.
Yeah, I would
shows.
Love my parents would have came to games, but I was only the kicker, so I was like, it's not important.
No, I was decent. Like they actually
they are important.
They tried to recruit
Pat
me
McAfee got
hardcore.
popular. I'm like, fuck, I was a kicker before it was cool.
They stopped me during my 10th grade finals. They had, like, I'm literally doing the finals. The coach is doing the administering, and he's like, "Hey, man, you should join the football team." I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to do that. And then he called like 3 other coaches up periodically through this final and was like trying to convince me. I'm like, no, stop. Like, I got to do this test. But it just wasn't for me.
We'll give you 100 on the test if you join the team.
Yeah, I'm like, well, maybe I'll do it.
I'll be there tomorrow, coach.
I would have been a selling point, to be honest. But no, that's when I had to, like, after that, I discovered the theater thing. But like the positive reinforcement wasn't good. But now, like, as long as it's honest, that positive feedback, like, to know that my intelligence is there, my creativity is valid, that's huge for me. So when he's there and he's like, "Oh, man, that was great. Like, you were fucking good on camera. Like, that one take was awesome," or, like, "Your ideas are on point," I'm just like, fuck, man, yeah, I'm validated. Like, I don't know why I needed that, but, like...
Tear.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the confidence to do what we did and push and become more creative. And at first, I fucking sucked. He would be like, "Why are you doing that voice?" or "Why are you talking that way?" Our first podcast of Studio Chat, I was like, "Greetings and salutations." I was so fucking stiff.
Yeah, I said to him, "I was like, that's not you, dude."
You're putting a radio voice on.
Well, I was trying
He was trying to make it more serious.
I was
and
trying
that's
to
not his
figure out the
personality.
style of podcasting. I was trying to figure out, like, who am I, like, in this world?
Who am I?
Yeah, that's a question you have to ask yourself.
Question you have to ask yourself.
How you doing?
That
Yeah,
confidence was gained through him, and in that, beyond him, then I met Johnny Moran, who served that.
Dating a really pretty girl.
She is pretty cute.
That's on video.
I don't know. Maybe there was a chance.
I mean, when he did that
me.
greetings and salutations thing, I told him, I'm like, I was like, "Yo, listen, dude, that's not you. That's not you at all." Oh, by the way, you might want to check Mike real quick. Check. Can you?
No,
check?
we can hear.
No, you're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'll turn you up a hair.
I was wondering if
You gotta get in there.
Okay, that's
Oh,
better.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so when he did this, I told him, like, dude, that's not your
You
personality.
gotta get up
dude.
on it, man. You gotta.
You were like, what's up, don't get me started. Stop.
Yeah, the issue with
What a
that
fist this mic.
And I was like, because even when he came up with Wicked Turtle, because we had ran some reviews, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. We'll just ran off and we'll just do reviews and stuff. But then he's like, "Yo, dude, I want to spread it off and do my own thing." And I'm like,
well, not my own thing. What it was,
he had an idea.
I found this picture, and this is a callback to the digital multimedia class I was in. We had a project where we had to create a production company and run like a small project.
We said
with
this
that.
on Banging Beers, by the way.
So I did this thing. I was like, well, everybody calls me a turtle. I have like turtles all over my room. And then I was watching The Incredibles, and at the end of the movie, that kid goes, "That's totally wicked."
We used
And
that
I'm
in a lot
like,
of our production, by the way.
fucking wicked turtle.
What would be my animal? You're a penguin. You're a turtle.
Mark Wahlberg.
That's my spirit animal. I don't know, like a polar bear? I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to be a polar bear?
I'm a bear.
Like a woodchuck or something? I don't know.
You guys gotta figure out an animal for me.
We'll have
I
to.
need an animal. I want to join the family, but I need an animal.
I mean, the wingman, he's not an animal. We just gave him the wingman.
He could be an ostrich.
Yeah. What was
It's crazy that
what
you
was this
banged my
Pokemon
sister.
I gave him? Remember the
It's awesome. He bangs beers, he bangs sisters.
Yeah.
I bang whores. No.
Hi, Mom.
Where were we?
We're still here.
Confidence. Confidence.
Part 2, Mom. We're here.
Confidence. So like what? So when we transitioned over to that, I told him, I was like, man, it's gonna be really, really hard, dude.
Yeah.
I said it's gonna be. I said I wish you the best.
No, that's not at all how it happened.
No. At first, I was telling you, I wish you the best. I'm not into this. I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, he didn't want to make it a business.
We're doing really good right now. I don't want to make it a business. It's just a hobby to me. And
when I first started, if you watch the earlier ones, I was with a dude named Nikolai. Me and Nikolai are very still close friends. Nikolai is doing a lot with his sound. Like, people are like, oh, Nikolai's not a part of it. He's not gone. Like, he's more than welcome to come back whenever he wants. But Nikolai taught me how to edit videos. Nikolai taught me a lot of stuff when it comes to the camera. He's like, that's what he goes to school for. He's a theater guy as well. He likes acting. He does extra work. He was part of Gotham. He does different movies. Nice. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, but he helped me get to that point. But also he used to yell at me, like, I'm like, oh man, this podcast is a hobby. He's like, no, you're too talented to say this is just a hobby. You're putting too much work in to say this is just a hobby. Yeah, I still haven't hit that yet. Like,
well, that's where I had to sit back and think.
Yeah, like, I work hard. Obviously, if this makes money, awesome. But at the same time, if it doesn't, it doesn't.
I just had a brand new baby, stuff like that, and I was like, dude, I like what we're doing. It's cool what we're doing now. But then I'm not really into the change, And I was, but then he showed me the logo. He showed me the concept, and then we went through the concept of Studio Chat, which was probably the first show, right?
That was like our first attempt at a podcast.
Or no,
like an audio. Show. It was an audio podcast concept that turned into a web show instead.
Yes. So, and he started doing. I mean, you can see the first episode. He's greetings and salutations, and I'm like, right after we were done with that, I'm like,
I hate that.
Don't do that. That's not you, because he really wanted to be super serious about it. I'm like,
this is a time when Trump was starting to become president.
Oh my God, this is probably the time we most fought.
Listen, that's a scary thing when you're making.
Don't
content,
mess with my president, bro.
When you're, oh God, when you're making content, you're afraid the entire time. And I don't know if you guys do this, but like the entire time when you're back your head, like, did I say something to offend someone?
That was the Asian thing I was just talking.
Well, yeah, it's not even that, but like back then we were doing this.
Like, here's the thing: we're all legit people. We're all legit humans. Sometimes stereotypes are put out there. Sometimes jokes are made. But at the end of the thing, we're trying to be fucking entertaining. We're recording stuff that you want to listen to. We were recording stuff to be entertaining. We're not fucking hateful, vendetta, hateful people. We don't hate people for their sexual orientations, their religion, their age. Maybe a religion, but we're... but like...
There's a place for comedy. And
exactly.
That's
what I'm saying. Like, don't fucking shut someone down right away because they made a fucking joke.
Yeah, my voice of the world is stop being so sensitive.
Well, my issue like then and what was going on, and I don't know if I ever explained this to you, but like I was highly conflicted with the whole, like, not necessarily the Trump thing, because in my opinion, at this point, there's been some good things, there's been some bad.
I hate all politicians.
All right, and well, my thing is,
I don't bring it in podcasting.
I don't like politics, but I'm very politically savvy and opinionated to some degree. And when this whole thing spurred a outburst of racism, it fired me up.
Oh, it did.
To the point where I wanted to make a production company, and I wanted us to still do our thing and do our podcasting or, whatever it be. But then I also wanted to start making serious documentaries about, like, the Klan and like the modern day of racism.
You could sneak us in there to do that stuff,
right?
Because you're not getting in.
Well, yeah, too fucking brown.
You'd be like Clayton Bigsby.
You would be surprised that I have a history with the Klan, not as a member, but I did live in Alabama for a short time.
Yeah,
and in the field next to our house, they had rallies.
Personally, this is me personally, and once again, I'm a very big person that if you put something out in the universe, it would happen.
Yeah,
I'm very, very open to interviewing if you are completely fucking racist, I will interview you.
Yeah, I'd love to be there for that.
Because I'm interested, and not just to spread hate. I would
love to watch that.
Not to spread hate, only because I have a way different view than you.
I need to understand it.
And I want to understand it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem. Like the transgender thing. We're wrestling fans, right? We're wrestling fans. Yeah. Nyla Rose. People are like, fuck that, right? I look at it as I have two sides to this.
I think it's great.
Right? So pro wrestling, I love mixed
The
gender.
wingman thinks she's hot.
Yeah. I think mixed gender things is great in wrestling. Yes. I like when women and men can compete against each other. Now, when you immediately say the reason we don't do that is because of domestic violence, then you miss the point. This is fantasy. It's wrestling. It's scripted.
Actually, in the essence of it is empowerment.
Exactly.
It's
Tessa Blanchard has a chance to win the fucking Impact World Championship, and that's awesome.
And the fact that they're not letting her win multiple times gives you that reality of the struggle women have to actually be equal. And it's like, okay, Tessa Blanchard's going after a dude. She's going to win. She's going to go over. No, it's been freaking months, and she's been losing because she's a woman.
And then when she finally fucking wins,
it means something, and it's empowering.
Yes.
You know, and that's a story.
And that's pro wrestling.
Because pro wrestling is theater. Pro wrestling is story.
Yes.
Pro wrestling is an examination of life.
Yes.
And that is the things...
Impact, you are fucking killing it, by the way. Keep doing what you're doing.
At least with that storyline.
Yeah.
And the roster. But...
Who's your favorite member of that roster? I'm very biased when I say mine.
I mean, personally, I enjoy Sami Callihan. He's been very sweet to me.
Ace because he stole your boots.
Ace Austin. He's from our backyard, man. He wrestled
Ace Austin
in companies
awesome.
Everywhere.
Brian Cage has been amazing.
Huh? He stole his boots on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a bit.
Brian Cage has been wonderful to me.
Our Impact show was like one of our best shows.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Brian Cage, during the entire Impact show at PPW, he sat over at the table where you first entry.
Right.
Like your entry table where you take the tickets. Mm-hmm. He sat there and watched almost the entire card.
Yeah. He's a great dude. Seriously.
That's the small things I watch.
Yep.
And the guy who wrestled Mike Orlando.
Mike Elgin.
Sat there with him the whole time.
And I believe that because I know some backstage stories that let me know that he will stay there for the whole show.
100. The only time they were not there is when they were wrestling.
Yeah. Brilliant. And those are the guys, if you ever see that happen, those are the guys you want to respect the most.
100%. I loved Brian Cage in Lucha Underground. I loved Lucha Underground.
Lucha Underground is what I strive to be when I start my own.
Lucha Underground, I think they're long and gone. It's no longer a thing.
Right. But
I think when the history books are written, it will go down as a very good company. It was fun. It was fun to be a fan of that promotion.
It was full-on theater, man.
It was so good.
Yep. It was a soap opera.
Yeah.
And that's what wrestling used to be.
All right, so every single person who became a champion out of that company or were major players are all going to become either major players in 2000. So 2020 is happening right now.
Right.
Ricochet, their first champion, is huge in WWE.
Brian Cage,
Johnny Impact, Johnny Morrison is now back. Pentagon Jr. is one of the biggest dudes in the world.
Literally my favorite wrestler of all time.
He's fucking so good.
Yep.
He can speak English. He doesn't even have to. You learn Spanish because you want to know what he's saying.
You are damn right. I don't want him to speak English.
Yes. And then you have Brian Cage, who is the biggest dude on Impact, which makes Sami Callihan even bigger because he's beating dudes like him.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy fuck. Sami Callihan is the Kevin Owens of Impact. He's where he looks like a chubby dude that shouldn't be winning, but he's a badass.
He is a badass.
And then you have who's like the Undertaker of Impact? Cuerno. I'm terrible with Spanish. He was a dude with the mask, the girl who licked their face. He was like their main bad guy in season 1 and 2.
Oh,
didn't he just get signed somewhere? He's coming soon.
Mil Mortes.
Mira Mortes. Yes.
God, I want to bring him in so bad.
You know?
No, I don't know where he's signed, but I do.
I thought he was at Impact.
That might be. It might be.
I thought
they're
just
definitely signing some.
Well, Impact also has Isaiah Scott, which is Swerve or whatever, right? Swerve, who's now their new Ricochet, who was Killshot.
Right.
Well, he's fucking awesome. And then his son of Havoc was amazing too.
Yes.
Like so many good people are coming out of that division. Like Lucha Underground will go down as a very big groundbreaking thing that was ahead of its time.
I agree.
Yeah.
And they had episodic.
Yeah, it was so good.
Good story.
Watch it on Netflix, or you can watch it on. I think there's an app you can watch it on.
It's not on Netflix anymore.
You want to know something? Netflix should swoop in and pick that up. I think that would be cool to have something like that on a Netflix.
If Netflix would realize how big wrestling is right now, and they put a weekly wrestling,
it would be
huge.
Over.
Imagine if they if Lucha Underground left the El Rey network and went to Netflix.
Yep.
It'd be huge. Absolutely.
Plus, there's no muzzle on Netflix.
Oh, it's so good.
Like, you can swear, you can do whatever you want on Netflix.
Well,
Honestly, could you imagine GCW on Netflix?
MLW is looking to get picked up by Showtime,
That'd be
where
cool.
you can do more of like that rated R shit.
That'd be cool.
The problem I have with that, though.
Imagine if HBO gets now Showtime picks it up. Now HBO goes, well, if Showtime has something, do we need something?
Yeah, but
And then wrestling turns into Showtime.
I think streamers should pick that. I think streaming channels should pick that up.
Well, streaming has
Because that's a thing. Like,
yeah. Well,
I don't
streaming
own
was
Showtime,
MLW.
So how would I say? Well, how
Streaming
would
was
I pick up
MLW, and then you have PWG, which is more like the tape. They like the tape thing. They like to record and put a tape out.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so much cool shit out there. It's like for how big wrestling is right now. 2019 turned the corner. 2020 is only going to get bigger.
Yep.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we got on this conversation.
But studio chat.
We talk about racism.
Studio chat.
We did.
First show.
We did.
That's how it is. We went from racism to wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Which,
so
by the way, would be a great podcast.
it went
Racism
from
to
this
wrestling.
thing that I needed this like outlet because I was like being so consumed by this like
He was.
like not this anger, but like 'cause I don't understand racism. I don't get it, and there's no place for it in my head.
Like, me and him became friends first before we became.
Now, as a white guy,
Yes.
as a white guy, you're out of this for now.
Thank you.
All right. Have you had?
He's super white. By the
He
way.
is. He is. So I dated a girl who's Hispanic, and her family used to call her a coconut because she's brown on the outside but white on the inside because she didn't know
That's funny.
Spanish. So then I turned Heidi into a banana, where she's yellow on the outside but white on the inside. But anyway, how many people have you grown up, or even in your personal life as a white person? And this, I'm not trying to. This is a social experiment.
Yeah.
That you talk to as a normal white person, and they say, "Yeah, but that one black guy is kind of," you know what I'm saying? And then you go, "No, what do you mean by that?" And they get super uncomfortable because you call them out on being a scumbag.
Oh, really?
Does that ever happen to you?
I'm the scumbag. Saying
Well, okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
So if you want to join the IwEP network,
No.
Bitch.
My thing is,
has that ever happened to you?
I don't see a line in any of that. I grew up actually in where I grew
Listen,
up. At
I have a
is
lot of friends that I question.
white,
Like, are you
everything
sure
white.
you're
The whole
not
high school was
racist?
white. Yeah.
And you never experienced racism, where another white person?
No.
You're full of
man.
shit.
No. I'm not saying no as an.
Oh,
Yes, that was like number one on the list.
because they were comfortable because there was no other people of ethnicity
We had
around.
those people talk like this, you know.
Yeah, it's not good.
Huh.
And to say that it's not a thing is completely fucking fabricated, and it's not true.
I
Because when
thought-
other white
yeah.
people get together, they talk about that shit.
Yeah.
But what the problem
it's
is
just
when
kind of
other black
wildly
people
not-
get together, they talk about that shit.
Well, yeah, but
All right,
And
it's
other
more
Mexicans that
it's
get
more
together, they talk
understandable
about
than
that. We can sit here and talk about race all day.
Every
Exactly.
culture has ingrained in it racism.
It does.
Yeah.
Like that's it's fair to
How
say.
does every
Every color has.
how does
racism.
every racist joke start with white people?
That's because we're the ones
like
that
this.
hyped it up. That's why.
Just looking around?
Yeah, everyone
true.
looks around for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, do I think that happens in Mexican culture and black culture? And 100%.
Yeah,
You should see the African culture.
Jesus.
yeah. That got really harsh real quick. No, but you know what?
True facts.
It's unfortunate because like I'm not in any way racist or anything, but I have met people.
You're brought
feel-
up. You're brought up as someone who is obviously by your skin tone. You are defined by a different person, but raised by white people.
So
Yes.
people like will think that okay, maybe he's just tanned. Okay, and that's where they get loose around.
They're like, is he Italian?
They're like, oh, you got a white mom, white grandma. He might just be tanned.
He's just Italian.
Yeah,
his
something like-
mom
something
might
like that.
being Italian.
But then you get super loose around me, like when we lived in Alabama. You know, like I didn't know racism existed because I grew up here and I was isolated. So I brought a kid home. It was like first grade. I was like, "Hey man, come to my house after school." Little black kid. This kid got chased off our porch with a shotgun. You know,
By your mom.
First time I ever heard. and because we're talking about it. It's not an offensive term. If I were using it directly, it'd be offensive. So this is the first time I ever heard the term jungle bunny.
yeah.
And I had no idea what that meant, but That's what my friend was called.
So when in high school, I met a black family that moved from New York to Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. We started hanging out, and I remember the one time we all were like, "Hey, let's come over to my house to hang out and play some PlayStation." We all come in and we hang out, and little to my knowledge is, and this is a true fucking story, my dad's phone. Now I live in a 3-stoplight town. Mm-hmm. There's a couple streets in between, but we lived right on the main drag. My house was right on the main road of Monte City, and the black families was diagonally across the street. And they came over to hang out, and we were best fucking friends. We were family. Mm-hmm. We were like, you know what I mean? And I never experienced racism to that point, and it opened my eyes to a lot of shit. And I will never forget. My dad came home, and he's like, "Hey, I want to have a talk with you." And he didn't do it in front of my friends. But he wanted to teach me the lesson of that racism was a thing. He's like, "My phone rang off the hook today." And I said, "What?" And he says, "Yeah." And he goes, "I got phone calls when your friends came in the house." Like, I'm getting upset about talking about it. Like, my own father got 14 phone calls because their son allowed a black family to be in my house. And they were calling my dad to let them know, and my mom, that I allowed black people to be in my house, and they were making sure that I was okay.
Wow.
That's fucked up.
That's insane.
That's fucking disgusting.
And as a kid who has no idea about racism,
no, man. Dude,
it's so hard to process.
And I'm not knocking police enforcement, or I'm not taking a stance against cops or anything, but when I first got my license and we were like, "Dude, let's take a drive," I got pulled over 4 times in 1 month.
Wow.
Because my passenger was not white.
That's wild.
We went to a basketball game, and we left the game to walk home, and we were followed home by the cops.
Jeez.
It's disgusting. We got kicked out of basketball. We would play basketball from sun up to sundown, and the second we left the basketball court, we were followed by the police.
I mean, racism, there's so many angles to it, because it's not exclusively white as it's to be believed. But, American history, the racism in America, sure, it started with white people causing the current culture.
Yeah.
But let's reverse back.
Well, it started
white people were slaves at one
exactly.
time too.
It started with other white people hated other white people, and then we brought black people in the mix, and they're like, "Cool, that's a new thing to hate."
Right. Well, the Africans, I don't know why I'm doing a history lesson, but they actually sold themselves into slavery because it was a noble thing to do back then.
They didn't sell themselves.
They didn't know.
Their leaders of power sold them.
Right.
They're like, "Hey, instead of taking our jewels and our diamonds and jewels and gems, take these poor people."
Exactly.
And they weren't selling them because they were black. They were selling them because they were the poor and they didn't need the poor.
Right.
Yeah.
But in their mind, it was kind of like a noble profession to do over there.
Yeah.
But no, they got kind of screwed out of that deal. But
every time our country accepts a new culture, we hate on it.
Oh, 100%.
When the Irish came, we were not the first ones. The Irish were not the first ones here, so they were shit on for being Irish, and they were treated like garbage. And then then the blacks. But listen, it's not a fucking who died the worst or who had the worst fucking upbringing. But listen, when it comes to culture in American society, listen, what blacks went through was fucking atrocious.
Yeah. Native Americans and blacks.
Native Americans and blacks, and blacks were literally, we were civilized culture at that point, where you're thinking okay, we came over and settled new land, we have to fight for this new land because we want it.
Right.
I'm not saying it's okay.
Oh yeah, it was.
But it's not justified. But you could see why.
Yeah.
We literally brought a culture of people over and and hunted them like fucking dogs.
100%.
Yeah, it's just not acceptable at all.
So when I was living in Alabama, we got lost, and we ended up it was literally divided. It didn't need to be at this point, but it was. So we ended up in the black part of town. We end up on a dead-end road, and, everybody's sitting on their porches. Everybody gets up, at least 20, 25 people, surround the car of my mom, myself, and my baby brother at the time in a car seat. Everybody has...
You have a brother?
Yes. Let's not talk about him.
I didn't know you had a brother.
That would be important.
Well, actually, it might as well be a part of the story. Eventually. But
we'll get there. We'll circle back.
They all pull out guns and they let us know very clearly that we're in the wrong color of town. The wrong part of town.
Why is that a thing? That's what I don't understand.
Well,
because
you have to realize
the South, man. It never.
The South.
I mean,
the South is very
What if there's a delicious restaurant that's in the black neighborhood, and I'm a white guy, and I want to go experience that and give money into that community?
Nope.
And it's not
that's one of my biggest problems with racism.
But you grew up here.
Here's the thing.
Problem.
I'm not saying I understand racism more, and I'm more woke than you. I'm an Irish Italian American. My heritage is Irish Italian.
I'm German.
All right. So. Well, German. Listen.
So you're the worst of them all.
Yeah, we fear you for being a Nazi.
I want a superpower.
All right. So as an Irishman, like as an Irish culture, we were treated very poorly. Not nearly as poorly as the blacks. So the Irish who are jumping on the podcast and commenting already, saying, "Oh, well, we weren't as bad as." Listen, I'm an Irish. We didn't have it as bad. We were treated fucking terribly, but we didn't have it as bad as the blacks. Because as a white Irishman, I can sneak in another side of town and just say my name was Jim and not say my last name was O'Connor, and I can get by and fucking buy groceries. If you're black, you can't change your fucking name because your outside appearance is being a judge the entire time. Yeah. So don't even give me that shit. You know what I mean? Like when other people say, well, the Irish had it just as bad as the blacks. We had it bad, but not nearly as bad as the blacks. Yeah. So being down south, now you have a culture of black people who are oppressed, treated like shit, murdered, killed, hunted, hung by trees in front of fucking local galleries for people to fucking have a good time.
And this is up until like you become 20 years ago still. Like it was a slow heal.
You can only be treated like shit so long before you put your guard up.
Yeah.
By the way, this is why for Wicked Turtle I told him not to go through this.
Exactly.
This is great conversation.
This is why I told him not to, because it can be
it's like, very divisive.
When it comes to our content, it could be
no, but that's the thing.
That's stuff like that. And
but uncomfortable is what makes people grow.
It
is. As two white dudes sitting at the table with a black guy. Black guy, brown guy.
Oh wait! Here I am, like offended by that, and that's fucked up in itself.
I didn't say it. He said it.
We are.
I know, but you're both white.
We are growing as people. We are growing as people, and we're showing that regardless of what your upbringing and what your heritage, we are getting along, and that's good.
Yeah.
But
to answer your question about that restaurant on that side of town, here's the thing. Down there, right now, it might not be as spoken, but it's very unspokenly divided.
What if your entire life, from the day you were born till now, you were told
hated on the whole time?
You were told you couldn't drink from a certain fountain. You couldn't go to a certain school. You couldn't get the same privileges as everyone else. And then one day, someone just snaps their finger and said, "You're welcome into my community." But the entire time,
you'd be weirded out.
You were treated like
totally awkward.
Yeah. It's hard to mend those wounds.
That's what's preached, to be honest. Yeah. That's what's preached now.
And white people,
I gotta watch my
listen,
by the way.
But white people snapped that finger and said, "We're no longer okay with, we're okay with it."
Yeah.
And that's a small majority, because there's not a lot of people who are okay with that.
It's a new age now,
and then people of color and people of different cultures say, "Listen, just because you snapped your fingers and said it's cool doesn't mean that I know that you're okay with it." And that's where we live in this society. Yeah. And it was in 2020.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Because racism's still a thing somehow.
Yeah. But in Wicked Turtle, racism is not a thing.
Listen, racism is a thing everywhere.
It's a thing everywhere.
And to say it's not is not
for me.
So
it's not for you, but to say it's not in general is not smart either.
I'm very pleased that we had this conversation, because I need that outlet at points. But the reason that
this is the conversation that we had.
This is what ended up happening. Look, I would have this conversation, but I'd want to have it so much because I just needed to change something.
It affected our
But then I needed to realize, right, because I would always
because you came up in a
political.
different background than him,
right?
It affected our friendship to the point where I'm like, dude, this is all you talk about. Can you stop talking?
Right.
Because you don't understand.
I want to talk about something else.
Realistically, he's grown up in a white family, but he has a different pigment of his skin color.
No, I've actually
you can't relate to
up until 2014. I mean, I've experienced racism upon myself, but 2013, I really experienced.
I have just recently to myself, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Oh, and we both did.
Because
actually,
you were together?
No. Oh, yeah, we're together.
No, it's
no.
The job.
So this is when he said the. Don't promote this to anybody at our job, but your job, but
your job.
Okay, so there is
a thing. It's a problem.
This reverse racism thing really affected me and him at our job, and this is another thing that was mentally making me break. There is a African culture where they and this is what was said.
By the way, we do have some African friends.
There was this is something that I
say black African.
This is what I've heard.
They're
African American.
No,
black.
Oh, African.
African.
Where do they live?
Africa. Here, and this is where I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it.
Just making sure we're politically.
They're here on visa.
I'm just making sure we're all politically correct.
So this is what was said. Growing up, this is what I was told about Vietnamese people, is that they would come to this country, start their businesses, and take all of our money, which was bullshit, and we know it, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens, and I'm seeing it, and I'm being told this by these African folks, and they're telling me, we're coming here to this country, we're taking these easy jobs, and we're working overtime like crazy.
So John Lovett it.
So what they get is
reaping the benefits.
They get into a field where there's all these opportunities for overtime, like human resources or human services. So they come in, they get a house with like 16 African guys, right?
Yep.
They leave their whole family behind in Africa, and they come in. They work all the overtime they can, and when they're not working, they go back to this house, share rooms, sleep, whatever. And they spend maybe a good 5, 8, 10 years working their asses off, sending money, cars, and electronics.
Africans aren't the only culture doing that.
No, they're not.
No,
but
that's not. But this is our experience.
This is where we were directly targeted. Yeah. So they're sending this back to their home, and they're literally going home and being rich and well off and living. Mm-hmm. But that's not how we're living. We're living paycheck to paycheck.
I applaud their hustle. But I definitely applaud their hustle.
So what happens?
Their countries allow them to experience their wealth, where our country tax you for your fucking wealth and keep you in a class that you shouldn't be.
Right.
But they don't get taxed because they're only here on visa. That's the problem.
Well,
that sucks.
Yeah, diplomatic immunity.
That sucks.
That's not me hating on another culture for being savvy.
But no.
That's
like I said, I'm not knocking their
hustle.
We're
not even hating on that.
I'm not hating their hustle.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're hating. I'm just saying
this is what they've explained to me what they're doing. But so in their protection of their overtime,
a lot of people from Dominican Republic do that as well. So, or the Philippines. They send a lot of money home.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But in what they're doing is they're protecting their overtime and protecting their positions by forming an alliance with each other.
They have a faction.
So what they do is they try to say things like we're racist, and they try to, or they're trying to push
especially me.
So the homes that he's worked
they're
in,
okay for him.
They've literally trying to push him out of the homes he worked in, so that they could have their entire connection in that home.
I was called Trump.
You just vote for him.
No, I voted for him.
For me.
I voted for him. He still owes me a pizza.
Yeah. True story. Vote me 2024, by the way. After this podcast and the fisting, I'm never getting voted president.
So realistically,
let me be your candidate.
Remember when we went back? Yeah, vote for me. Remember when we went back and we said how certain people who do have mental disabilities learn that they can play a system?
Oh yeah.
So that also happens in every other type of it can happen with racism, it can happen with sexism, it can happen with feminism, it can happen with anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really can. People can play into a thing like, I don't like that this celebrity is making money, so I'm going to go back and dig through 14 years of his tweets and find that one that we don't think is cool, and we're going to ruin this guy's life.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what we did.
Listen, if you're going to dig, I have tons of dirt, so have fun.
Yeah, I mean...
I was not a good human, and I'll be...
there's a video of me stripping naked on YouTube, so...
dig and have all the fun you want, because at the end of the day, I'm not proud of the things I did in the past or what I've done to people, but I'm making a conscious change to not be that person.
Yeah.
So this is my disclaimer, that if you want to be a dirtball and have nothing better to do with than try to ruin my life because I'm doing stuff, that's your disclaimer right there.
Haters gonna hate you.
I totally agree with that. Like, I'm not happy with
gonna hate you.
The person I was in the past, and I'm making an effort to be that different person. But
in the medium of wicked terms.
So with that, like, we experienced the racism, that reverse racism.
Yeah.
And it's only reversed because we popularize white racism.
The idea that only white people could be racist is kind of fucked
it's
up.
insane, but it's the only one that we see publicly. So we experienced that racism on that level, where I've experienced it because of the actual color of my skin or my heritage. But it's just, I don't know, it's weird and it's uncomfortable and it's
good talking
sad.
points, though.
It is. But in that, like, we've experienced it, he's experienced it, and it's unpleasant. And by no means does that mean I hate every African. But I am upset with the ones that feel the need to use the race as a means to
get gain
up over other people. When in reality, I mean, scientifically, all life stems from Africa.
It does.
We're all freaking African. And if anything, I'm African because I'm Puerto Rican, which means I'm a mix of African, Spanish, and Native American. So there's a little bit of African in me, too. And then if I'm Native American, like I told you earlier, that means I'm part Asian. I'm literally somebody that has spanned the entire globe genetically. Mm-hmm. And, don't laugh at me, you prick.
I'm just thinking of a Christmas present I'm going to get you for next year.
Hands across America.
No, just African gear.
It's just
you're like an Akeem. You're like Akeem.
That'd be cool.
The African dream.
Get the hat. Really.
But you know,
we're gonna get you an African the Akeem shirt.
That's why racism is so stupid to me. Is because I know that life it all came from one central point.
You've learned to go above the hate now. You've learned to
right. So
like politics and stuff. He's learned to go above.
But to say it's not there, you cannot be naive to it either.
No, but to not let it affect you, like on a personal level, is a conscious choice because it destroyed my friendship with him, and it destroyed everything that Wicked Turtle was gonna become. Yeah. And it was destroying my happiness because I was consumed by it. I was like, everything that, you know, oh, well, Trump said this and he didn't support this and that. And I'm like, oh, well, I really like his policies regarding medication, but I hate this because it makes this seem that way. And I wasn't upset with him, like, directly. I was upset with what was happening. And
I think all politicians suck.
They do. I agree.
They're all terrible.
Bring it up.
But so I had to step back hardcore. And, you know, he pushed me in that direction, which is weird because sometimes I push him in the PC direction. I'm like, dude, that penguin goes off. You can't say what you said because it sounded like you were supporting something you shouldn't support.
It just sucks that we have to, like, not sucks. Listen, it's a double-edged sword. Obviously, you have to be careful because you want to fucking not offend people. But on the same token, is people need to realize that when you're offended right away, look at the situation in both angles. You know, like, we're just quick to judge on one side of the spectrum, and that's, everything's not black and white. It's really not.
No.
It's not. It's like,
sometimes they're brown.
Sometimes they're brown.
But that's...
And we still love them.
When it comes to studio chat, like, once we discussed that after
all right,
the first
let's get
episode,
back on track,
Yeah, because we're going to get into some fun stuff then.
Yeah, because I told her, I'm like, yo, let's just be us. This is what makes us great.
Wear this red hat.
We're us. You know?
I'm joking.
Oh, no. Very first episode, he wore a Tommy Bahama shirt and hat.
No, I didn't wear it. Was it a Tommy?
That's what I called you. Sure looked like it.
Yeah.
I was talking about your Make America Great hat.
I don't have that. I don't have one of those. He wants one of those. I don't have one of those.
We should get one that says "Make Wrestling Great Again."
Yeah, my friend Andrew has that. Make jobbers great again or something.
Yeah. But then we started going to that, and that started to kick up a little bit of steam. Like, it was like, oh, wow, we're doing some entertainment stuff. Then we started doing live stuff post-show, like, pre-shows.
Oh, no, we can't go to wrestling yet. We're not there.
No, we're doing pre-shows.
Where?
I'm talking about studio chat.
Oh, okay.
We started doing pre-shows.
The live pre-shows.
We started asking stuff in the beginning, like, hey, well, so we need some content. He did a thing where we would remake Dreamcast,
Holy fuck.
Movies.
Yeah.
We remake movies and stuff.
If we're doing a remake of a movie, who would you cast in this role and stuff?
Right.
And we always
let's do it right now.
Well, we almost always cast Johnny Depp in something. But,
and the Stranger Thing guy.
All right, so you pick the
Stranger Thing.
You pick a topic.
No, you pick a topic.
Yeah, you pick a movie. So my top with it.
All right, so I will say we're gonna do it like I'm gonna say comic book. You say genre. You pick it. You pick the universe.
Oh, really? DC.
All right, now you pick the universe in DC that.
We're talking about movies that we would...
Oh, yeah, 100%.
All right, so we're DC Universe.
Comic book, DC.
Okay, so I'm picking what?
You can pick any DC universe. Do you want to do a Justice League? Do you want to do Batman? Do you want to do Superman? Do you want to do Birds of Prey? Do you want to do Suicide Squad?
Let's go with... let's do a Justice League. Yeah.
Justice League. All right, so now we have a universe. All right, so we'll start with the Justice League. So we'll just do... Who's
playing Superman?
Superman. All right, so let's all agree here.
Now, it has to be current actors, or are we doing of all time? Like a dream?
No, we're doing
a full-on dream cast.
Are we doing current, or are we doing all time?
We can do... Because we did like Gene Wilder at one point. So.
Yeah, but that was our Gene Wilder
So we're doing current.
episode.
Current.
Oh, shit,
all right, so Superman, current.
It's bad because I really liked the guy who played Superman.
I did too.
I'd cast Dean Cain all day, every day.
Here's my pick.
That's
Here's my pick.
Go ahead.
John Cena.
See, I wanted him for Captain Marvel
No. You wanted
or
him for
Shazam.
Shazam. Yeah,
I got someone better for Shazam. Shazam would be cool though.
I was thinking, man, he was my pick for a Batman, but
John Cena.
No, it was Captain Marvel or Shazam.
Shazam.
And it would have been really cool to have him versus The Rock.
The Rock, 100%.
But no, I could see like a John Hamm for like an older Superman.
This is bringing back so much nostalgia because this is
John Cena,
this is our argument. It's like, yo, you pick John Hamm for everything.
Yeah, because he
John Hamm is from where?
He was from what's that show?
What's the one with the suits?
Okay, I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Not the suits.
So Batman.
Mad Men. He was on Mad Men.
Mad Men. John
Mad Men.
For Batman.
So I would go for like an older Superman if it's like an older
Superman always looks youthful because he doesn't age. So think of that.
Okay, well then.
So you could pick a guy who looks young but muscular, and he doesn't look like he's like John Cena doesn't look like he aged.
So I would go John Hamm for Batman. Like I wouldn't mind that.
No, so I already have I have Batman, and I'm going to make a good point for it. Batman.
Who's the kid in the Baywatch movie?
Zac Efron. I was thinking that for Superman too.
Superman.
Yeah. I wouldn't pick him for.
Or the Flash. He'd be good for the Flash too.
No.
Nope.
I like today's Flash on
Nightwing.
TV. I like him too.
Nightwing. Zac Efron for Nightwing.
Nightwing
That's
for
dope.
Zac Efron.
I would pick that.
Now Batman. I'm sick of seeing run of the mill, very start off young Batman. We've seen that too many times.
Yeah.
I want a grizzled.
John Hamm would be perfect for that.
I want a grizzled veteran Batman, and I want the dude who played Thanos. Ooh. Have you ever seen Gangster Squad with him?
Oh my god!
Where he was in those fight scenes?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my Batman.
I could dig that. I
could
could definitely.
I still like John Hamm for Batman.
I still think Ben Affleck is the best Batman we've had so far.
Yeah. Batfleck like a mofo.
Yeah. I said from day one that was the perfect pick. That dude knows Batman.
Catwoman.
All right, I got to think of.
Well, we're not actually. Sorry,
I got one.
Scratch
she's not
Catwoman.
Justice League, yeah.
See, that's not Justice League. So now we're at Wonder Woman.
Okay, you ever see that Blacklist?
Okay.
I don't know her name, Megan something, but the main chick in the Blacklist, I think, would be a great.
Gina Carano,
Okay.
the MMA fighter who actually
I know
acts.
who you're talking about.
That's
That'd
my
be
cat.
cool.
That's my because she looks badass. She's
she's
jacked.
tough.
She has muscle. That's my cat. That's my
the
Wonder
chick from
Woman.
Blacklist would be like an
Still
old
stuck on
school
Catwoman, by the
Wonder
way.
Woman.
I have a good one for Catwoman.
Who?
Remember the grandpa? Remember that movie with Robert De Niro? At the end, the chick that
Aubrey Plaza?
No.
You're fucking insane.
She would be a good Catwoman.
She has sexy eyes, though.
She's very sexy.
She does have sexy eyes.
She's super sexy. But you need somebody super sexy to play that part.
Yeah, but she's a little too thin.
Aubrey Plaza's not as. No, I think Aubrey Plaza's sexy, but
She's
she's
like
not
nerdy
Catwoman.
sexy.
Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman sexy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because she was Catwoman.
Yeah, because she
Listen, Kitka, okay? I'm old school Catwoman.
Aubrey Plaza would be a good Talia. Talia Ghul.
That would be interesting. I can see her.
All right, so we're at one. So Batman's cast, Superman's cast.
Flash.
All right, hold on.
Flash.
Before we cast a person, we have to. Is this Justice League with Martian Manhunter or Cyborg?
Both. We're gonna do both. We're gonna do both.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to black guys, I only cast Chadwick Boseman.
Idris Elba is my
Martian
guy.
Manhunter. I would do Terrence. I would do Terrence Howard
Elba.
for Martian Manhunter.
He would be a cool Green Lantern.
I would pick a black guy for Martian Manhunter.
That's what I'm
Oh,
talking
you'd
about.
have to.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you would
Terrence
have to.
Howard would be
Terrence Howard?
I would
What?
pick him. Yeah.
See, I would pick Idris Elba as my Martian Manhunter.
That'd be badass. Okay, I win. You win. He would have been a cool Jon Stewart, but that's an even better Martian.
Are we
Manhunter.
doing Jon Stewart?
We can do both.
Are we doing
man.
Hal Jordan?
You know
We're
who'd
doing
be-
Hal Jordan. We're
you know-
doing Cena.
You know who'd
I'm
be?
doing Cena for
You know who'd be a good Hal
I
Jordan?
would keep Ryan Reynolds.
Ugh,
You know who'd be
no.
a good Hal Jordan? John Hamm.
Trust me, this is our argument, and this is why this got canceled. I was like, you got John Hamm and the Stranger Thing people doing everything.
Fucking love this guy. This is John Hamm cast.
This would be how we would do for pre-show. We would put this out for people and be like, hey, this is how we interacted.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd see the green screen behind us and all that stuff. And
How
we'd
about-
be like, yo, how do we do this? You know?
How about like Tyrese or Tay Diggs as Jon Stewart?
He's really trying to get in it.
Like
Tyrese
younger
was
Jon
supposed to be
Stewart.
casted as Jon Stewart in the next one.
Yeah, you're right.
Which was not
It didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't green light.
It didn't green light.
Get it? Get it?
That's good. That's good.
So we're doing Hal Jordan.
I love these sound effects.
Sal Jordan. Hal Jordan.
How you doing?
I got Cena with that one, man. I think he has. I don't think look.
So.
He has that look.
He's too. You're gonna cast John Cena as Green Lantern.
He has that face.
He has to be. He has to be the biggest dude in the movie. He's fucking
He's like
huge,
short and thick.
So you're gonna make Green Lantern bigger than Superman? Superman is Superman.
He doesn't have. He doesn't.
Yeah, I don't hate the idea of Ryan Reynolds. Because I didn't hate Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. I hated the story.
The story's dumb.
Everything about that movie, the casting, everything was fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Sinestro looked amazing.
What's funny is he found a script.
Yeah, check out this.
He found a script.
I'll have to just send it to you if you like reading the original script by Greg Berlanti for that movie.
It was cut so
phenomenal.
much. In that
I want Zack Snyder to take back over the DC universe. I want the Snyder cut.
I love Snyder for Watchmen. I did not care for 300.
We didn't care for BVS. We hated it.
The uncut version was so...
Uncut was
yes,
great.
Uncut BVS was good, yeah.
So good.
But the cut one was terrible.
That wasn't his fault.
Here's the thing. I want to see what he did.
So everyone talks about they want the uncut version of Justice League.
I'd like to see it.
I want the uncut version of Suicide Squad. Because that had way more Jared Leto in it.
I can't really say. I mean, I like.
I don't know what would have happened with that, but I hate all the backlash on Jared Leto.
I thought he was great.
I thought he was phenomenal.
Yes,
I want it more.
I hope they give him one more opportunity. I swear.
Joker, to be honest, though,
because I will stick by that. I'm pretty sure his incarnation of Joker was Jason Todd.
Yeah,
there's so many hints to it, and. I don't know. It's just really fucking cool.
But you see how Studio Chat formed. This is what our passion.
Yeah,
we're passionate
this
about.
is not cool.
We're passionate about wrestling. We're passionate about movies and comic books and stuff like that. And as soon as we started talking about wrestling, it was like, yeah, let's do a wrestling thing, and that's where Hitting the Mat started.
Yeah,
yeah. You came up with a name for Hitting the Mat, correct?
I sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he came up for Hitting the Mat.
But before we get to Hitting the Mat, so we had a friend. Should I say had?
It happens. People come and go.
Jack Birkenstock of the Bodana Group holds this convention for tabletop games in Harrisburg at the Harrisburg Mall.
This is where we got an audio podcast.
So I'm kind of helping him. Like, we're hanging out. I'm helping him kind of give him like some ideas, and he's trying to bring in a celebrity. And I'm like, I don't necessarily not have a history in booking people and having that. Ability.
This is what put us over, by the way.
So I tried to help him book people, and then he got in touch with Martin Kleba, who is the little person in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
He played Marty.
Well, yeah, that's his name.
You never watched Pirates of the Caribbean?
I did. I don't remember him.
So the little guy with the cannon that blows himself away in the second movie?
I could not tell you.
Well, you'll watch it again. Anyway, fucking amazing dude. But they were like, oh, hey, you want to bring him in? We don't necessarily have enough money. I'm like, how much is he? Okay, I'll throw down half.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Just keep talking to the audience. I'm going to... Someone at the door.
So I said, hey, I'll throw down half. And then we got this opportunity to interview him, which we thought was like going to be like, hey, we're going to do this interview. Turned out to be 3 live broadcasts on Facebook. And then a full-on legit interview where we got to ask him all the questions that we wanted to know. That, to me, was the official beginning of Wicked Turtle Productions.
Yeah, I mean, that interview there actually was great because we did 3 lives? It was 3 live interviews.
Yeah.
By the way, here you go, Anthony. That's
okay.
He
looks like the a tiny person of Gene Snitsky.
Oh my God, that's great.
He could play him and talk. But anyways, but having a celebrity like him, because he was in the pirate movies and people do know him, and he's been in other movies and stuff too.
Romano,
I knew him,
all
Corky
sorts
Romano,
of things.
Scrubs. That's one of our. In fact, we brought up more Scrubs references than anything because we're Scrubs guys. But
he's just hang out here. You can listen in.
You gonna hang out? All right, chill with us?
Oh, fuck it, come on in. We'll put your mic on.
Let me move here.
Everyone, this is Ben from Not Cool in High School and Banging Beers.
It's nice to see you.
We weren't expecting to go this long, but
That's fine.
So yeah, man, we did that interview, and that was kind of the beginning of Wicked Turtle.
We got
it was
thousands
also
of
like
views off that. He shared it to his.
It was an interesting way for me to like learn interview skills.
This is where he broke his mold.
Well, initially, so we had the last day we did this official interview that we had planned, where we asked him like damn near 105 questions, but
he approved it.
So, but before that, we did all these like live shows promoting the con and doing these little questions here and there. And that I learned something from his fortitude of not giving a fuck about talking over people.
Yep.
Which he's gotten better at. But he would talk over people and just to make sure that his question and stuff was heard. And I'm sitting there.
The spotlight.
I'm the guy who
Spotlight.
would respectfully, I wait till the other person is done and then I speak. Mm-hmm. And then we're riding home together after the shit. And I'm like, hey man, fuck you. Like, he's like, what did I do wrong? I'm like, well, you're kind of a dick. You dominate the conversation and, you don't give somebody an opportunity to talk. Like, I was kind of pissed off. And he's like, well, like, that's just me. Like, this is how you fucking have a conversation. And I'm like, well, no, I find it rude because I was raised this way.
Yeah.
Respectfully, you wait until, there's somebody stops speaking, then you speak. But I was like, all right, well, out of spite, fuck you, I'm going to be a dick tomorrow. And so the next day I came in and I picked my spots and I kind of like didn't necessarily dominate the conversation, but I made sure when I had a question it was heard. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh shit, this is how you do it. Like
you got to pick your spot.
You're not being rude. You are making sure things are flowing properly, and the conversation isn't going to go dead.
Dead silence is not good.
So coming into that, I was like, oh shit, okay, now I think I know how to do this interview thing. And so from him being what I perceived to be ignorant was a learning experience in learning how to actually hold an interview style conversation.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great. And then after that, I've always listened to Howard Stern, but I started really listening. And that was my inspiration to become a good interviewer because of the way he can ask you a question, forming in this great conversation, and then stop whenever he thinks of something great to interject or whatever. He'll just stop you.
Yes,
and he'll just go on with. And I'm like, well,
that's the thing.
Those are my props I give actually to you and him. You guys, you and him are the two best interviewers. I
appreciate that,
to be honest.
So I got some slack on my last interview. I do. I want to touch you too, but let me touch you.
I'm sorry, wife.
So
this is my life.
I got slack on my last on an interview about me interjecting too many me stories, but like I am building a network. And
it's flow,
not part. So much about. So when you talk to certain people, they're afraid to give up some parts of their stories. Like there's some parts of your stories that you may have not told today because I was willing to give some of mine up. So if I'm willing to say I did this, and this, you maybe be like, you know what? If he said that and he's comfortable with his past, I'm comfortable with my past.
Yeah, that's sleep sex thing.
So yes, yeah, exactly. Sleep sex. We talked about sleep sex already. Where I have sex, I have sleep, and I have sex. Yeah, he's laughing, right? So and that's never been talked about on camera, but it happened here. But
it
like
happened. Do the Ben button.
Yeah, we've hit that already.
He's hit a lot of buttons
already. Yeah, we actually do a 2-part. This is the second part of the interview, so this can be broken up into 2 different shows.
Oh damn!
Yeah, so that's what. So a lot of people are like, well, you interject too much. As me as an interviewer, I watch. I'm like, all right, he's not ready to divulge yet, so maybe I should talk a little bit so he gets comfortable enough to then. It's like playing tennis. You gotta. It's back and forth.
I've actually taken some stuff that he said too, and I actually do that in my stuff too. Like,
yeah,
I've noticed I was like, man, I'm really overconfident. I'm really like,
it would be
pushing
fun.
myself out there, but like, that's just me as a character. Like I'm trying to like.
I would love to do a co-interview with you just to see how we bounce off of each other. It would take a couple to get used to, but it would be fun because we have a very.
It'd just be a bunch of noise of us interrupting each other.
But also because a very similar path of your personality, I'm a split between you two. I have a little bit of each. Yeah. It's fun. I like this little connection we built with our little networks. I really do.
I'm excited about all of it.
So you guys,
very interesting.
How did you guys get into the PPW scene?
So literally,
unless I'm fast forwarding too far.
No, it was actually right after the Martin Kleba interview.
Yep.
I was just like, man, how do we do this? How do we get celebrity content? Like, we can't just do this once a year.
Yeah, he was hooked on celebrities.
We've got to make this shit happen.
Yeah, I'm not so much into the celebrity thing.
He was hooked on celebrities.
I was hooked on it because I love fucking.
He saw the views that we got for it.
No, it had nothing to do with the views.
I did.
Well, yeah, he loved
That's
the
what
views.
brought me into it.
But I'm like,
wow, people
shit,
are watching
man.
our shit. That's awesome.
I'm somebody who loves these people. Like, if I could interview anybody right off the top of my head, I'm like David Boreanaz, fucking Angel. Love that shit. Yeah. You know?
So I like, going back to your thing, I'm very inspired by Howard Stern and then Joe Rogan, where he could take a celebrity and break them down as if they're a fucking, to me, everyday people, you know what I mean? And make them like, so I listened to an interview on Joe Rogan, or I listened to an interview on Howard Stern, and I'm like, this is someone who I didn't think I liked. And then after the interview, they made them humanized.
Yeah.
So I would interview celebrities, but maybe it wouldn't, I don't know how it would go, because I wouldn't be like, I didn't do my research on you. I just want to have a conversation with you.
That's where I'm at. Yeah. I'm not going to go into researching shit. Like, I'll be like, okay, here's what I know about you, but here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
That was me. I actually didn't, because interviewing people actually scares me, to be honest. I'm actually more scared.
Because if I interview...
Because I have to hype myself up.
Realistically,
Even to this
if
day.
I sat down with Enzo... I'm going to ask him if I research him, I'm going to ask him the same fucking questions that probably every single person in, you know what I mean?
And that's what I don't want to do.
Exactly.
You know, I listened to Howard Stern, and I'm like, okay, I didn't really care for Charlize Theron, but now I know her whole fucking story.
I loved her interview.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
I became a huge fan of her after
Miley.
I want to party with Miley.
Yeah. I knew her when
Potty
she was
with
a little
Miley?
baby.
What do you mean?
Yeah, well, so in Alabama, literally 2 doors down the road, which is like a mile, I would take my dirt bike down the road, and there was this closed-off gate. And then one day I saw these kids behind the gate, and they invited me in, and I became friends with this family who...
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, it wasn't that.
Oh.
But their cousin was Billy Ray Cyrus. And I'm like, bullshit. I love Billy Ray Cyrus. I have an Achy Breaky Heart t-shirt. Fuck you.
My first CD I ever bought was that.
So I was like...
My first CD was Aerosmith.
Oh, nice.
Aerosmith and AC/DC.
My parents were in the country.
But I told these guys, I was like, there's no way you're actually like related to Billy Ray. Well, he's coming here in 2 weeks, so make sure you're down here, on Saturday.
You drove your bike down on Saturday.
So I drove, it was a 3-wheeler actually at the time. So we drive the 3-wheeler down the road, get there, and sure enough, Billy Ray Cyrus and his family. So there's a little baby like Miley there. So eventually,
you're gonna be so cool.
I was like, man, I'm gonna know you on a Disney Channel one day. And I bought all the DVDs. I swear to God, I did.
She's awesome.
All the Hannah Montanas.
She's awesome. I love her.
You see how I kind of got that accent coming back?
That song,
I told you it was going to happen.
It's our party. We can do what we want.
Yeah,
it's our party. We can say... I love that song.
Oh, it's great. All her stuff is really great.
Yeah, she's super talented.
Yeah. But anyway, that's like...
All right, so PPW.
All right.
You never talked about the productions, by the way.
Why is this recording?
Well, wait, what?
Well, that's going. The audio's not for some reason.
Okay.
Are we okay?
Yeah. Well, you can just keep going. Yeah, we're fine.
Okay.
All right.
But production, we were actually first.
Well, no, that was...
We did
the
production
network didn't
first.
exist yet.
Yeah, the network didn't exist yet.
It was all Wicked Turtle Productions.
Yeah, and we were still
that was
putting
the
on...
idea.
Yeah, as soon as we started Wicked Turtle Production, that's when we started the network.
Well, yeah, so that guy, Jack Birkenstock from the Budana Group, said to me one day, he's like, oh, yeah, well, you guys are going to do that with your Wicked Turtle Network. And I'm like, no, it's Productions. And I'm like, network. Holy shit. That's what we need to be. We could be a production company, but we're not going to get work unless people know what we can do.
Yeah, so we put our own content on
So we start the network. We're putting our content out there, and we're willing to work with other people to create content with them. But that was the idea. So Wicked Turtle Network, and then we hit up. We were actually at work one day, and we're kind of arguing who's going to call Paul Bowe, because he had taken me to my first PPW
He
show.
wanted me to talk to him. And I'm like,
Well,
no,
I wanted
you do
to-
it.
yeah.
Go ahead. You be the
I was like,
outspoken one. This is your field. This is your thing, man.
Yeah.
Right. So I eventually
I was actually
like,
friends with Paul Bowe before he was.
I was like, well, fuck it, so I drove my car and I stopped somewhere and I made this phone call because I'm like, I don't like people listening to me when I'm on the phone. So I called Paul Bowe and I was like, hey, we're this podcast. We just got done interviewing the celebrity, and we're interested in maybe coming down there, highlighting some of your wrestlers.
Or fans.
Maybe
We went there before
throw
we
some
started.
money at you, and maybe interview some of the celebrities.
That's
you
the
bring
word
in.
right there. Money.
And this
We
is
should never started with that.
well. No, I mean,
That was the
I know.
word.
I don't come with money, but I come with
His
production.
idea was, and this is where I kind of got taken a little bit, I think. But this is where he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we could do that, or you could pay to bring in a guy, and that gives you exclusive rights to interview him, and
You need more of a cha-ching. A cha-ching.
No, that was actually brilliant. So, I get this interview for my money of a full booking price, but PPW
It was
gets,
Nunzio.
Who?
Nunzio.
It was Nunzio.
was the first one.
So, but also I get the
Could have got
opportunity.
him for a case of beer.
I got.
be honest.
I also got the opportunity to do their autographs as well. So, like, if they make money, I make money back.
Yes.
So that was an
That's
opportunity for me. But PPW gets the advantage of anybody coming to see that person I brought in. They get that ticket sale, and they also get that match for free because I paid for it. So yeah, it was kind of like 50-50 a little bit. And that's how we got to PPW. Like it was literally that incentive.
And then we started producing the show, and
we started hitting the mat.
we would film the content there, bring it back home, film our bits in the studio, and then we even experimented with some like having like a news thing and doing this and doing that. But then
we tried a lot of different
we're like
angles.
you. We tried to
Yeah.
keep it simple. We was like, let's just keep this simple.
No,
this
I
is-
tried to make it complicated as hell, and then I'm like, that's not working.
Yeah,
Let's
like
keep it simple.
he put on like a tie and everything one time for like a
I had to cut off in a tie.
like he's like in the news, like almost like a drama alert thing, like in the news. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? like let's just keep this simple. Let's just review. Let's do a review show.
Yeah.
And then have little bits in it where we had interviews with the WWE guy and indie talent. So we always highlighted both the superstar that was there that we paid for, by the way, and highlight an indie talent or put them over as it is in the business. And then they came to us and they're like, oh my gosh, we like this. This is a great idea. And they said, we would love to do a live show. And I'm like, ooh, PPW Live. That sounds awesome. I mean, I came up with that name, PPW Live. I was like, ooh, that sounds great.
This kind of gives a callback to my list.
The problem is if you don't have a good internet connection,
That's what it was.
Your live
yeah.
show
That was the problem.
looks
So
fucking
It was
terrible.
The live idea was failed.
That's why I
from Jump
stopped doing
Street.
it. That's why I stopped doing it.
But it's kind of a callback to the list because I'll divulge the shit that I told you from day one. When you had the idea, you're like, oh man, we could do a live show, we could do a post show, a pre-show, and I'm like, dude, just wait, because after they see the content that we're producing, we don't have to offer them, we don't have to pitch the idea, they're going to ask us to do it.
Yeah.
Sure enough,
And
6
that's what
months
happened.
in, they came to us and they were like, hey, could you guys produce a live like pre-show? And I just looked at him and I'm like, told you, bitch.
Yeah.
Told you.
Yeah, he gets full credit for that. But I was like, but it went from posting on live to okay. The software was expensive. It was like a monthly subscription fee, and then also I'm a perfectionist and I don't want to put out shit content. And if I got like a live show where it's going.
Oh, it's bad because one of the best shows that we did.
Or the wrestlers don't give a shit and they just like kick our stand
it was
down.
so choppy and bad. Like you couldn't even follow it.
So-
That's majority of our starting up. We used to do all of our shows live on Facebook or YouTube, and it looked and sounded terrible because of the live stream and the internet, and it's unreliable. That's why I started recording everything.
Well, that's just... And then I told him, I said, let's take it to the studio. He said, well, we can still call it live. And since they have this premiere stuff that they
'Cause
do
you
on
can
Facebook...
premiere on Facebook.
They just premiere... And we acted like we were, like, there.
Yeah, and
then that just made it all stupid.
That gets sniffed
and
out by
made
fans.
It corny. And I told him, I said, for the next year, let's go back to our roots. And that's when I went to their production team. I was like, hey, we're going back to the roots.
Once again, coming up on this... Maybe not this next show, but we should start we should team up a little bit.
No,
we could do some cool
I
shit.
totally agree. Like I said, that first that for 2 months I was looking at you, man. I'm like, I want to approach this guy.
I wanted to approach you too, but I didn't know how.
Yeah. It
I was like, he probably thinks I'm here to fucking step on
I really
his
feel there
toes.
should be music when they first met.
No,
There should have been music.
Because I came in and you were sitting at the table and we
Yeah.
made eye contact and I was like,
for sure.
do I say anything?
Because I know the 1 month I was actually running tickets when you walked in the door.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, there he is. Or there's one of the guys with his T-shirts on. And I'm like, where's that fucker?
I'm sitting there thinking, yo, does he have sexomnia?
Shut up, you fuck. But
Does he have sex while he sleeps?
Yeah, right.
yeah,
But that's
what I wonder about.
That's
people
basically
when I
our
first
thing.
meet
Like,
them.
and then everybody there became family to the fans.
That's the
to
thing, man. Like,
to the workers, to even to the management.
We've worked super hard to build this network, the IwEP network, and with all the shows. And we were talking a little bit about off camera, like maybe like, you know, we just work really hard. And then meeting another team that has the same thing. Like, dude, if we fucking combine efforts, we're fucking unstoppable.
And the best thing that I love about all of it, to be honest,
agree.
it's still therapeutic to me. Remember how we started out with this is therapeutic? This is still therapeutic to me because I get to get together with my best friend.
Heidi has Ember Moon hair. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Heidi, come back in here.
I did notice that, actually.
Heidi, come here. Look at this Ember Moon hair. We're talking wrestling. Look at that.
Change it now. She's trying to find something different.
Listen, I love it. You just keep wearing that Ember Moon hair, girl. I'm gonna totally eclipse you.
Gonna sex on me the hell out of that.
Heidi, come here quick.
No, are you?
Come here, Heidi. Come here, sit down. No, real quick. We're gonna talk about something. I need clarification. Just come here. Just come here, real quick. Just come here.
Oh God!
Come here. She has no idea what's coming.
Wow, neither did you.
Everyone, welcome Heidi.
Hi,
Say hi.
Heidi.
Make sure we're
It's like
good.
an AA meeting.
Hi.
This is
Hi,
fun.
I'm Heidi.
Hi, that's Heidi.
Is this the first time she's ever been on camera?
No,
This
it's
is
very
like your
rare, but it
fifth.
happens.
It may be the
Or like
most
fifth
awkward time
appearance.
you're on
It
camera.
will be very awkward.
My wife hates it.
So
Yeah.
I just found someone who has the same element as me. He has sex while he sleeps. Is that a real thing?
Yes.
So
Yes.
so. All right. So just to get it out there, it's not rapey, right?
No.
All right. It's my wife. She said it's okay. There's been, so I said how like you woke up and told me that we did stuff, and I was like, I don't remember. Tell us a little bit.
That's what happens.
Done. Keep it simple. That's what I always say.
Yeah, and then it's way better, right? Better when I'm awake.
Sometimes it's not. Because you'll start and be halfway, and then it's just like, oh, okay.
I'm really tired and I fall
And
back
it just
asleep.
rolls back over and goes to sleep.
So there's times where I start and I'm so tired I don't even finish.
Now I know like the
this
cues
podcast
now, so that I like brush it off. Like so now you like this, and I'm just
You have to talk. You have to talk. You have
Podcast.
you have to
You
talk.
like rub you just go like this, and I'm like no,
It's an amazing podcast.
and then you just roll over and go back to sleep.
This is a great show, by the way.
Brilliant. Yeah. So all right.
This is the best show ever.
All right, you can go back. Go. You're ready.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, babe. I love you.
And that was just a normal conversation.
By the way, good job for good job for accepting that.
Yeah.
It's part of the life.
Yep, there you go. Yeah,
My wife's amazing.
Yeah, I can't have my wife on camera, and we can actually go
Yeah,
into that. So
because
one
you
of
don't
Wicked
sleep,
Turtles,
fucker?
Wicked Turtles' biggest star is my son.
Yeah.
My son to this day has the third most popular.
And he came
video.
out of there.
What?
Oh my!
Out of your wife.
Yeah.
He came out of your wife.
Yeah, but my wife hates being on camera.
So
Trust me.
this girl that I planned on wooing, if that's the nicest way I can say it.
Rooney doesn't have a sex.
Are you bringing it back to the
well,
20s? Jesus,
no, just
wooing?
like in general. We're talking.
That sounds
right?
raping, by the way.
I said that
It
stuff too.
does
Like, I'm
not.
gonna ruin your life, girl.
Getting
my
a cardboard box with a stick and a little
We're-
food there.
So we're texting the other night, and she sends me this video. I'm like, "Oh, what's this video?"
I am
And
listening. Scott.
immediately, it's a woman giving birth,
Oh no, thank you.
and like, it's like just a big giant head sticking out of a vagina, and then it pushes out, and then all this
Vagina?
like aftermath comes out, like, and I just like started screaming in my place. I'm just like, "Ah!"
No,
And I text her. I'm like, "What the fuck was that?" I'm like, I don't want to have sex with you now. Maybe. Yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
So how is Christina doing? No, I'm joking.
God, it's like Johnny Moran. He knows. Johnny Moran knows that Christina had a thing for me before they started dating. You know?
No, we've like my
Listen, off the record, Johnny and Christina, you are fucking phenomenal, and I'm a huge fan of both of you.
They're friends.
Yeah, they're great.
He hates me, but he loves this guy.
He hates you.
I do love
He hates
Johnny
me.
Marr.
He says I stole his merch. I didn't steal his merch.
You stole his merch.
What
Why
happened
did you
was
steal his merch?
Somebody bought Johnny Moran's pin, dropped it and lost it. He found it on the floor, and then Johnny had found out that he had a pin, and Johnny's like, "Well, you didn't buy a pin, so you stole it."
Does he still have pins?
Probably.
Johnny, I put pins on my hats, so let's talk about it.
Yeah,
you stole his merch.
It was on the floor. I was saving it because somebody didn't like it, so it went away.
Or they dropped it.
Oh, yeah, they dropped it. I don't know who dropped it, but we did
It
find
was
it.
Bob the DJ.
Was it Bob the DJ? Yeah, well.
You know who I like too at PPW? And I need to talk to more. I think he'd be fun to talk to. The dude who sells the WWE shirts and the toys.
Oh, Tim's amazing.
Fucking cool, man.
He also has a
awesome.
convention.
He runs Icons of Wrestling in Philly.
Yeah.
I know. I'm learning more about him.
He's a great dude.
I told him, I said, can you do me a favor for people like me? Can you get a punch card where if I buy 15 t-shirts, you give me one, at least for $10?
Trust me,
I usually buy
t-shirts.
figures off of him.
I buy every PPW show. I buy at least 2 fucking t-shirts off.
Yeah,
of.
I know that you always buy T-shirts.
The more you get
every
with him,
yeah.
he gives me discounts all the time.
Does he?
Yeah, it's just
Dude,
weird.
I would buy because he has such good t-shirts. I literally most of my WWE t-shirts I own right now are from him. He's such a fucking cool dude.
He's awesome.
One of the coolest autographs Brian bought was he had a Vader Ric Flair fucking autograph.
yeah,
cool.
And when somebody dies too, and he has autographs, he does not upcharge.
He does not.
Yep.
He's a good. That's a guy I would like to sit down and talk to.
Yeah, he loves
Make it
us.
happen, he'll do
He
it.
loves us.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say if we could do a collab on that, let's make that happen.
Dude, a pre or post show where we just sit up a table and talk for a little bit. That'd be fucking fun.
That'd be cool.
'Cause he's probably hard to get to come here to our table.
Oh,
but
for sure.
Yeah.
we have to do a PPW night.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I love Tim.
Yeah, I
Tim's
like him
a
a
great
lot.
dude.
I like him a lot.
But no, getting back to my son. My son, he found interest in this. He saw Daddy doing it. And in fact, you asked him this day, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" He goes, "A YouTube star like my daddy." I was like, "I'm not a star, dude." He goes,
any schmuck can upload to
Oh,
YouTube.
but he wasn't talking about you. That's the problem.
"Oh, he's talking about you."
No, some other YouTube star that
No,
your wife.
he doesn't.
I heard he watched TTP. He watched
What is with-
TTP.
dude, you are going back to the 20s.
He said
It's the roaring
Stuffed
20s.
wooing.
his kid watched TTP and he's like, "That's a real podcast."
That's what I want to be like.
He's like, who's these guys that make fun of these guys?
He's like, I just want to be like Andy Hedder, when I grew up.
Here's a fun fact: Andy Hedder has had long hair since fucking second grade.
Really?
Yeah, I learned that about Andy.
I have an interview question for you. How long have you known him?
So I started.
And how did you know this guy?
That's a great question. So me and Andy started. I met Andy at an Outbreak show, and we have mutual friends. So I reached out to Andy when we were starting doing Not Cool in high school and the wrestling show, and I said, "Would you be interested in coming on and hanging out and talking wrestling with us?" And he said, 100%. So he came on the show. We started talking, and I said, "I do another show with pop culture," and we were kind of established a little bit. It's already start doing Not Cool in high school.
Well, how long is that? How long is?
A week or maybe a month?
No, I mean, how long from now until then?
Over a year.
Yeah,
now.
about a
year
year.
and a
So
half.
I thought
yeah.
you guys were long lives.
It was
you guys talking.
November-ish. Put it this
It's
way.
like the way you guys would get together and stuff. How he comes to your house and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, he
It's
must
only-
know
it's
this
only
dude since high school.
About
and shit,
a year and a half.
It was
now.
last year
Interesting.
when Stan Lee died. That's how we know. That's how you
He was
know.
the
That's
episode
the
after Stanley.
Sad
Yeah.
face.
Then Andy kind of started.
So Andy
yeah.
became a regular on Not Cool in high school and Tornado Tag. So he just became a family member of the show, and he's been there ever since.
That's cool.
He's dude, every show he's here every week. He's fucking cool as fuck. Him and Ben actually work out every day. So Andy's been hitting the gym a lot more, trying to get more physique in him, and they work out every day.
Yeah.
Cool dude, man. Really cool dude. I'm a big fan.
But like I said, getting back to my son gained interest into this, and
Andy's cool, but fuck my son.
I had an idea. I had an idea for a cooking show. I wanted to do an internet cooking show. I love to cook, foodie.
You
know.
fucking spread yourself thin.
I do.
He does.
Too much.
I do not.
I do.
Hone in on your thing.
But I wanted to do a cooking show, and I told him, he's like, yo, let's do it. Soccer moms. It's like, no. He
I
wanted to
was
call
like,
it Dad Cooks.
you should
He's
cook
like, call-
Cooking with Dad.
Cooking
I
with
thought
Dad.
it'd
I'm
be
like,
great, man.
he's like, soccer moms. I'm
Can you
like,
imagine
why do
all
you
the
call it
clam
soccer
juice,
moms?
man?
he wanted to pick up.
Man, is what I said.
He wanted to pick up soccer moms. Like,
I've coached soccer. You don't want soccer moms.
No. So I told him, I was like, what about Penguin Cooks? I mean, I'm already like a jack of all trades now with Penguin Eats and stuff like that. So let's do Penguin Cooks. He's like, brilliant. So then I started doing it, and then the first show was about cheesesteaks. We did cheesesteaks, and then my son sat in on that episode, and he's like, I want to cook too, Daddy. So then we made pancakes.
God, I can't. After hearing Effie do a promo, you can't say Daddy in front of me. I want to cook too, Daddy.
After that dude's promo?
Fun fact, white girls cannot say Daddy to other white people.
Why?
It's weird. If your wife called you Daddy, what would you say?
Yeah, that'd be fucking weird.
It would creep me out.
Yeah.
But then again, I've had like an Asian girl call me Daddy, and it was amazing.
Asian girls can call me Daddy, except Heidi. Heidi can't do it. I would laugh at her. But like if a Spanish girl comes and goes, "Ay, papi."
Yeah. Like I like.
I don't even think I'm done. I'm already.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Tapped out.
Same. Like big Papa, even like anything like
Ay,
that.
papi.
I'm like, I am big, and you're acknowledging it, and you're accepting it. Accept this.
If a Spanish girl came up and said, I papi, I'd be like, you need to go away, and I'll pull the Burr Crusher. I'm not going to cheat on my wife! Like, I'm not doing that again. Yeah, no. Get away.
Tough.
But his episode became like our third most watched episode.
Yeah.
You
gotta be careful. Well, I mean, maybe because it's your kid, you can get away with it, but I think YouTube has a whole thing about kids, and like... Yeah, it's weird.
But he was really good. Like, he even sold our merch at times. We had our own merch, dude. He was like, "Oh yeah, look at the Wicked Taylor shirt." Like, we
gotta give him a TTP shirt.
Yeah, we should. We should do that. He's really good at this stuff. To this day, even just yesterday, he was playing Minecraft. And he's taking.
He can't listen to our show because we're terrible.
He was taking his iPad, and filming himself.
Yeah, when you talk about anal fisting on your podcast, maybe the kids shouldn't.
Yeah, right.
Or
we hit it hard with Goblin Rave. I had a.
We just talked about. Hey, never mind. You have to watch part 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He doesn't watch our content, so we're fine.
I mean, okay.
He's part of it. He doesn't watch it.
I'm getting to that. Now I'm getting to it.
We always have like tons of ideas that don't get greenlighted at all. Like we had an idea for we did a show called Top 5 where we would pick top 5 of our favorite movies.
I don't have someone about
foods.
Like you know how it gets greenlighted. I'm like I'm doing that. Who wants to help?
Well, we did it. It was great because people liked it, but then he was like,
it was fucking stupid.
It was stupid just because he said, "Well, what my top 5 is different than your top 5. We have to come to a medium here," you know. I think to this day, I think my two favorite videos are top 5 Disney movies and top 5 serials.
What are your top 5 Disney movies?
Oh man, do you remember that?
No.
What's your number 1?
See, because they changed.
What's your number 1?
Yeah.
What's your number 1 right now? Mine never changed.
I think was with Beauty and the Beast.
Our number 1 right now is Aladdin.
Yeah, well,
the old school Aladdin.
No, the one now.
I love the live action.
It was good, but it wasn't my number 1.
No.
The original Jungle Book is my favorite.
No, we were actually
number 2.
We were Beauty and the Beast guys.
Oliver and Company.
Yeah.
You fucking come on.
What's your number 1 cereal?
Cereal?
That's what we did. That was one of our favorites.
I love Special K with its strawberries. I also really love Oreo O's.
I've had those recently.
What was our number 1?
Waffle Crisp.
Waffle Crisp.
I never had waffle.
You know why? You
It
get that
is.
syrupy milk.
So it's like the beauty of like a chocolate milk afterdew, which is like awesome.
Cocoa Pebbles.
But it's like it's like a maple.
I want to come on some of these top 5s.
I mean,
we don't do it no more.
No, we can reboot.
Can we fucking start
We
doing...
wanted to do a top 5 game show. Like that was a thing.
Game show?
Yeah, we were going to do Facebook Live. We were going to do a top 5 game
5
show.
topics with each topic had 5 questions.
Yep.
And then we would do it live where we could bring you in on the live feed and then ask you questions, and you have an opportunity to win either like
Do you ever
merch or something.
Did you ever see like fucking Instagram Live? That's getting popular. You can do it right from your phone.
Yeah.
All right, so PPW, you've been doing that for a while. Now you have a new company coming. Or no?
What are we talking about?
A new idea.
Okay,
You have a new
so
idea coming.
We did do the things at work got tough.
Yeah.
And then I withdrew. Like I don't know if it's depression or whatever. I just kind of like, dude, I got way too much going on.
I'm always the idea guy. I'm always coming up with
willing
ideas
to
constantly.
like help edit stuff from time to time. But like as far as me creating my own content, I have great ideas, but I have no motivation.
I think
to film.
right now...
I have nothing I can figure out for him to do as that.
Besides
the prep
I think
shit,
right now
which is
you're in
great.
your funk. You're in a little bit of a funk.
I'm in a funk right now,
Yes.
especially like today and yesterday. Oh my god! But yeah, but
You're in a funk, but once you get in front of a mic or a camera, you start rolling. And I think you
That's
just
what
need
it
to
sounds
When
keep
he's with
that
us,
going.
like
That's
we
what
just
I
did our
need to do.
Christmas episode, and
Yeah.
we gained 400 or 500 views right off the bat. With
That's
that. Like, it
that's
was
why I
awesome.
do 4 weekly shows, because as soon as I'm not working, I'm in a funk.
yeah.
So like I can go do my normal 9 to 5, and I'm like, and then I'm like, get me behind my microphone with my buddies, and I start recording, and I'm fucking. I'll if I could do fucking podcasts every second of the day, I would. I love doing it. I have fucking
great.
fun doing it.
That's where I live,
yeah.
man.
So what do you guys have planned for the future of Wicked Turtle?
Okay, so my future.
That's what I wanted to say. Not a new
Yeah.
company,
Do
but
your
a
stuff.
new idea.
My
Yeah.
future business plan had been to, because Wicked Turtle Productions was supposed to get publicity through the Wicked Turtle Network, which would make Wicked Turtle Productions a viable business.
We actually own a website. We just never designed it.
So
I can't do websites.
I still
Me
think
neither.
that model is great in creating a product like another company that utilizes the production of Wicked Turtle and advertises that as its fuel. So coming soon, not in your sleep, is an
I was waiting for the comedy.
I'll announce it without any dates, without any announcements, really. There is a thing called High Tension Wrestling, and that is owned by myself and a dude named Anderson Scott. Not his real name, it's his gimmick name, but he prefers to keep his real name slightly anonymous.
He has sleep sex too.
He does. I'm sure he does.
We've talked about it so
No,
much. I feel like I'm going to contact her.
by trade, he is a high school or middle school teacher, and that's just kind of like in that profession. You kind of
You
keep
gotta be
everything
careful.
separate.
You can't talk about sleep sex
You can't. No.
and fisting.
Yeah. So
We don't do that here.
But you can do it here.
So in that, I'm not
I'm
stepping.
the Howard
away.
Stern of podcast. You guys are PG. I'm your. Come on, me and be rated R.
What's funny is we're
Don't
not
come on
PG,
me, but
we're-
come to me.
When we
Come in me. I don't give a fuck. But so in that same like
love you
token
guys.
of creating high tension wrestling, I'm not stepping away from PPW.
Well, this is good.
I don't
And
want to.
PPW is a totally
They're
different
our
product
family.
than what I'm going to bring.
PPW has awesome shit.
Yeah, PPW is a wonderful, and the best way I can put it is a showcase of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Is it greatly story driven? No. Is it got
That can
some of the-
change.
It can change, absolutely. But do they have some of the best talent on the indie circuit?
100%.
Agreed. I can't think of another
Do I feel
company
like they should
that
open
has
up
a
their
top
minds
to
more than I
bottom
do?
roster of guys
to open up
who
their minds.
look, feel, and are professional wrestlers. I don't see any fatties in jean shorts on that roster.
Nope.
Okay, this
Can
is,
we have fatties in jean shorts?
I love fatties in jean shorts.
too.
That's why
That's
you're
if
here.
we start wrestling.
That's like
we'll
the
be
poster.
fatties
I'm like,
in
that's the
jeans.
poster I want to put up on my
Before
wall.
this podcast, I was a fatty in jean shorts. I took them off, and now I'm. But so I'm not stepping away from PPW. I'm not stepping away from Wicked Turtle. But I am
Real quick, just a
receiving-
quick
yes,
two PPW guys.
indeed.
Brand new, come to the thing. I can't wait to see more from them. Chris Banks,
Chris Banks,
And
he'll be working Billy Gunn this month.
and then the Nola Ninja that roped Andy.
I have not gotten the ability to actually watch him work yet.
Yo, have faith in Bo Keller. by the way.
Unbelievable.
Bro Keller is probably
Keller is awesome.
and
Oh,
no,
the guy with the bell.
no, Bro Keller
No,
is
you're
all
thinking of,
energy like techno guy.
Bull,
I don't think I've seen him
Bull
yet.
Oh, you have. You just don't
What's his name?
remember.
Bull.
Who's the guy that Sean Pratt's wrestling? That's fucking great
Yes,
too.
that's Bro Keller.
Oh yeah,
Bro Keller.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
So my thing is,
Shooter guns.
okay, do I love
Does he have a great look?
I love Deshaun Pratt. I love Johnny Moran. These are like my guys and my friends that
It's
I've made.
hard to pick somebody
but
in
I
that division.
can't pick them because they're my friends. Like that'd be biased.
Yeah.
But right now, my favorite person to watch in PPW, aside from friends, is Bro Keller.
Mine is probably I really like Main Event.
Yeah.
I've never had them on the show. I really like Main Event. I'm really happy they're champions right now.
I agree.
And that's not taking anything away from other. Like I have fucking a South Philly's finest sticker right here. Like I have a facade. I have a Danny Moe. Like you know what I mean. Like
That's awesome.
I support like. Listen, if there's one thing you cannot
This is
take
an
away,
Alley Rex.
I wish I
Jurassic Park sticker.
They did get engaged in front of a Velociraptor.
It's true.
Yeah.
I did a thing for them.
Yeah, I seen that.
That was they reached out to me. He's like, "Yo, we so cried so much."
Listen. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to say I'm the fucking greatest, but I'm up there. All right. There's no one who fucking puts content and fucking puts money out more than me as a fan. I fucking
100% as a fan.
I fucking drop money on fucking
when you
merch.
say, look, I bought 3 shirts, I'm like, man, I have yet to purchase a shirt.
I can't
from
even fit
these
in regular
companies.
shirts.
I can't. Yeah, that's
My
another
shit's
thing, too.
special ordered off a website. For blankets.
Mine's off of Teespring. It's my own content. I like producing my own stuff.
I want a Christina Marie shirt. I want a fucking Johnny Moran shirt. They just don't have my size.
You're gonna see Wicked Turtle shirts there soon. Watch.
I already own your shirt. Fuck you.
No, we're actually trying to like.
I don't tear your shirt.
We're trying to get our own stuff. We don't have to go through Teespring and stuff with like our own.
Yeah, Teespring's convenient. Teespring's convenient because I don't have a spot to put a table.
What are you doing off for, bro?
Yeah, I don't have a spot to put a table, and I don't have money to buy 100 shirts of one size, so I just don't do that yet.
There was a time where we did.
Yeah.
When I'm like, hey, do you want to put $200 out in t-shirts, or do you want to buy new mics and the board? I go that route.
Yeah, and that's where we need to get.
I think like you.
Well, I mean,
you were getting back to 2020 for Wicked Turtle. I think growing now is going to be the productions. We definitely want to get that going more. We'd like to have more content creators come on and say, "Hey, listen, that's what we do, man. We're video guys. I love
like we could
editing.
take that like you have your
I'm always bored at my house,
and we share your stuff on ours and you ours, and then we could do like maybe we could revive that top 5 as a
We should make a joint page. Like we should find a way to like merge
the brotherhood.
Like you know how you have Wicked Turtle, we have
Brotherhood of the Turtle.
IwEP. We should have like the Bucks are their own
game of shells.
Interviews with everyday turtles.
Yeah. So like you have your own, you guys have your Wicked Turtle. We have IwEP. So I'm the Kenny Omega. You're the fucking Young Bucks. Let's find a way to make the elite.
We're the Fat Bucks.
Well, just the fat fucks.
Fat fucks feeding their faces.
Yeah. See? Boom. Yes. Perfect.
And then instead of the too sweet, we're fat, so it's just like this. We're just fucking fatties because it's not sweet to thin. It's just fat.
It's just a fist.
We just touch fists. We're like the Shield,
like this.
Yeah.
I can't go that far. I got the T-Rex arms.
So what else can we look forward to Wicked Turtle before we wrap up here?
Oh well, of course, season 2 of Fat Fitness will be back. Yes, I've gained a lot of weight back.
Eventually, when I get in my
it's because actually I can't
my zone. Fat Fitness was originally a concept in my mind.
That's his concept.
Well, I said too. I said I like the fact that you're watching what you eat, but you need to add workout to it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So the original concept was like I wanted to get out there. I wanted to work out with independent wrestlers. Like I was like, oh, Green Machine, I'll try your workout, and Johnny Moran, I'll go with you, and we'll film this.
They're in the gym
montages.
Like 4 hours.
But it didn't happen because of work and depression and all that shit. Like I just couldn't get there. But we're gonna make that happen. Like. Especially with the high tension stuff, it's going to be very video and theatrically driven. So I have to get out there a lot more. I need to be more active. Especially, I am taking on a new role at PPW. So I need to make sure I can walk my fat ass in the ring. And if somebody attacks me, well, I need to be able to take that bump. So, yeah.
But we're definitely bringing that back. And the reason why I was very unsuccessful there to the end because of the accident. The accident really messed my leg up, and it was just I was having trouble walking and stuff like that.
What happened with the accident?
So what
Did
happened?
you get hit or did you hit?
No, so
what happened? Talk about it.
No, I can talk about it. That's cool. So I was at a green light and I was making a left turn, and a guy who was on his cell phone did not pay attention to the red light. And he went through the red light and basically T-boned me. I wouldn't say T-boned me, but T-boned my car. And
hit like the front end.
The front end.
The front end.
It completely moved my whole front end.
If it was for like a foot to the left, he would have hit your driver's side door.
And it would be a problem.
You would be hurting.
Oh, yeah. Real bad.
Yeah.
Because that's like the weakest part of the whole car.
Yep.
But thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. That's all. I mean, I crawled out of that car on the passenger side door. Like I opened up the passenger side at first because it's I wouldn't say it's an electric car. It was a hybrid, so everything's electric in the car. So I'm like, there's no like buttons. How do I unlock the door to get out of this car?
And there's no really big engine block that's a big piece of steel that watches the front end either.
Well, to be honest, the engine was not hurt in that accident. I'll give it to him because it was in a cradle. And that's what my buddy said. He's like, yo, your engine's in a cradle, so your engine's not even damaged that much. Like, there's a lot of steel around that.
Yeah.
So, I had to get out on the passenger side, and then I'm like, I'm just freaking out. I'm like, my car, like, this is what I do for work. You know, this is how I get around.
Because you
this is how I
travel
make
every
money.
day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you live somewhere else when you're not working?
Yeah,
Like,
I
do you
live
have
in
a-
Lebanon, but
like,
I
you
have
have
to
an
travel
apartment.
to Reading to do.
You have
do
your
my
own
job.
personal room in somebody else's
in somebody
house.
else's house. Yeah,
It is awkward as fuck.
it's very awkward.
Yeah.
You can't go home. You have to stay there for 3 days.
This is not something we talked about personally.
Yeah.
It's just from me watching your content that
Oh, yeah.
when you're not home, you're away from your family and
Yep.
you're there for a couple of days staying
Yep.
with somebody.
Yeah.
So this was another factor that led to me being mentally broken. Because
Yeah, he hated it.
I felt when they separated us due to a bullshit situation.
Yeah.
They separated him to a different home, and I'm stuck there with a bunch of people that I don't really care for because they ostracize us because of our affiliation and our race.
Can I ask you honestly, like,
And our friendship.
Like,
Our
and
friendship,
honestly,
too.
if you can't really answer this, I understand. But like, are you afraid to go to sleep at night sometimes?
There was one time with one character that I needed my door locked for
Like
sure.
you're sliding a dresser
I have
in front of
anxiety
your door.
because of another staff member who was seemingly psychotic. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do. I actually do lock the door.
100%. I'd slide a desk in front of my drawer. Like,
Well, I don't do that, but
I would.
I do lock the door.
I would.
all the
I'd slide
time.
something in front of that bitch.
I have anxiety when it comes to that. I mean, I have anxiety.
That's my
when,
Batman brain.
Yeah.
If you're getting in, I'm because I'm a heavy sleeper and I might have sex while I'm doing it. So
But to be honest, in my job, I'm really pricky. I'm a super dick there, man.
you have to be. You can't be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
It's like being a prison guard.
What's funny
man.
was I was on my way to work
yeah.
when this accident happened.
Yeah.
And it cut at first I never really realized how much adrenaline is and how it plays a factor in your
That's
life.
Rembrandt.
And dude, like I was okay. Like I felt fine. I was walking around. But then the next day it got worse and then it got worse and worse and worse
Yeah.
and worse and worse.
And Yep.
Pain in the ass. You know, that they love to take your money, but they don't want to help you when you need the help.
Yep.
You know? So then that just went to, I would say, probably minor depression to the point where I'm eating and I'm not paying attention to what I was doing. And it took me weeks before to even throw a camera on to even finish out this because I was going to finish it on week 20.
Yeah.
And then I came up with a plan for someone.
How much did you lose between then?
I lost 12 pounds.
12?
Yeah, I lost 12. No, 14
With no
altogether.
working out. That
That's
was just
no working
that was
out.
just
That's just
watching what
minor
you eat.
walking,
Yep.
watching what I eat. So that's the fat part of Fat Fitness. Season 2 is going to be the fitness part where I'm going to the gym and I'm going to get DDP. I'm thinking about getting DDP. So when I can't go to the gym,
Yeah.
I'll have that. But I'm thinking about going to Planet Fitness and stuff, and where I can probably take my individuals.
Let's make a
that's
group
with
chat.
me.
Let's make a group chat between us and
yeah,
be
we
like,
could do
yeah,
that.
did you do your shit tonight? And if you didn't, be like, yo, fucking do your shit. It takes 20 minutes. Fucking do something. Do a couple push-ups. Like, you know,
My
seriously.
wife just yesterday, she was watching the 100 on Netflix and walking in place just to get the steps. But that's coming back. I'm actually in the process, probably since I have a lot of free time this week. I guess I'll be able to do I was suspended from my job,
Which is another factor. in,
another factor. I was suspended my job without pay.
The deal of like being trapped there for 3 days, and like I felt like I was when the client goes to sleep, I feel like I'm in a prison. Like I'm seriously, that was awesome. Like
Just blow off.
staring at the
Yeah,
walls
shut up.
with nothing to do except like maybe watch movies on my phone.
What was great was we're best friends and together, and we were able to during our downtime because our
Keep each other sane.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
went
it was
to bed at
phenomenal.
and we would actually review our day and our blocks, so we would get it out of there and it's basically conversing to each other.
Listen, and that's a thing too.
It's a very hard job.
And
It
I know
really is.
I know a lot of factories do it. A lot of jobs do it where they're like, you can't open up to a coworker because if you offend them or you say something you're not supposed to, but you need that at a job.
Yeah.
Any job you do, any job that you punch into a clock and you're working
My wife
40
hates it.
and you're working 40 hours a week. You need someone to be your mental stability. You need someone to vent to. You need someone to be like, I fucking can't stand Susan. I work with a Susan. I shouldn't have said that. I love Susan. I'm trying to think of a name I don't work with. I fucking hate Tiffany.
Get the fuck out of here. That name just popped in my head right before you said it.
Or I hate fucking Tommy. You know what I mean? But you don't hate Tommy. You're having a really fucking bad day at work and you need someone to vent to. And then if the person you vent to runs and tells the boss that you fucking... That's not cool. Like, you need to... Like, and you probably had that for one another where you can fucking vent.
I mean, we had good
it's
times.
It's a high-stress job.
We had good times when we were together. Like, when he would get... When his client would blow off, I would say, yo, let me take him. Let's go. I'll take him. Like, we would... work together because my dude always slept a lot, so I was like, yo, go ahead, I'll take your dude, we'll go do this, whatever, or at the end of the day I'd say, oh, let's watch a movie together or watch our Netflix shows and stuff like that. Like, we worked that house to the point to where we were succeeding as staff, and we're also succeeding, our clients were succeeding because there was a happy environment there, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm still there because I get to work 4 days and I'm off the rest. Oh no, 3 days. 3 days. I'm off 3 days. I work 3 days and I'm off 4. So the pay is good.
Yeah, we were sleeping there.
I tried to leave.
When you do a single job for like over 10
day.
years, your marketability is not as high as you would want it to be.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
I've worked a single field for.
Do you get paid for the entire 24 hours you're there sleeping and holding on?
You only get paid till like for me, I work
16 hours.
So you sleep there all night. You're not even getting paid
for fucking free.
For free. So if I get up,
it's a scam. It really is.
If I get up, it's time and a half. I get time and a half if I get up though. So if I have to wake up in the middle of the night where the individual wakes me up.
Do you have to keep a journal? Like, I woke up and had to deal with this?
Yeah, we have to document you have to call in. It's basically a call-in type thing.
Fuck that.
It's really rough because it's rough.
You're away from your family.
I'm a family man, and I have to see my son through FaceTime. Like, that really sucks.
Yeah, and you're not getting... Wow, that's crazy. All right, anything else you guys want to wrap up before we close out today?
I mean, that's pretty much our fucking story.
I mean, like I said, well, for mine, I'm bringing back Fat Fitness. I'm going to be doing the cooking videos here soon. I'm still doing Penguin Eats.
Yeah.
So
overall, I think you're going to, after today, you're going to see a lot more integration between the Wicked Turtle and IwEP. Like, whether it be PPW, whether it be...
I want your audio.
Yeah.
Your audio is perfect, man.
I'd say for me,
I love it.
Keep a lookout for any future thing that I do, because fucking it's me. But now, PPW, please come check it out. It's probably the best wrestling show in Pennsylvania and New York and New Jersey and West Virginia. I'm not going to lie. It's probably the best one in all the connecting
plug,
states.
by the way.
I don't give a shit. PPW is fucking awesome.
That roster is tight. It's a tight roster.
It's fun. I've been to every PPW show except for one the last almost 3 years now. And
which one did you miss?
The first Scranton show.
I haven't
gone to either Scranton show.
I missed a ton of them just because I was...
Yeah. But also, in that...
So the ones you miss, I can help him pick up the slack when we can do shit.
That'd be actually
like,
really
if it
cool.
snows, I'm not going over.
Yeah. It's only a 25-minute drive.
We had a story. We drove back from PPW one time, and we're sliding down the hill the whole time. I'm like, oh, man, this is a wreck.
Dude, if there's a situation where you're fucking stuck... and you can't make it the full drive, dude, fucking crash on the couch for a night if it's bad weather. I'm being dead serious.
It gets
bad.
It gets pretty bad.
But, my couch is open if you guys need it.
Keep a lookout for the Savage Granny. And her wonderful t-shirts on sale.
I mean, they really want to support Wicked Turtle and they want to support you guys. They should definitely buy our merch because that really comes back to help us with buying equipment and stuff like that.
Listen, when it comes to equipment, I do need a computer, but I'll take care of that. Support other people. Buy their merch.
I mean, I've moved a lot of my stuff now. Like we do have my iMacs that me and him bought, but I lost my laptop, so I still needed something to go. I actually use a full iPad now to do all my editing and stuff.
That's crazy.
It works.
And then
I would lose my fucking mind.
Keep an eye out for any future announcements on High Tension Wrestling.
Yeah,
and that is powered by the Wicked Turtle Productions, and there are some hosts from the Tornado Tag podcast. Am I right? Or am I right?
I mean, I think
son of a bitch.
You're gonna see some tornado. You're gonna see some tornado tag
me and
guys
you do the best. We do great. I mean, we all do this. The people sitting at this table right now.
How the fuck?
Great content.
Like in my eyes, our story was like this really small story, but we've had like this crazy long podcast. Like our story is bigger than I even remember.
It's the journey of Penguin on the Y, bro.
It's beautiful, and you have been a wonderful fucking host, and
I told you, top 2 interviewers sitting at this table right now.
Like,
that I like.
It's wonderful. And like I said, very Howard Stern-esque. Like, you were able to keep the conversation going very well conversationally. We talked about some incredible Howard Stern style stuff like fisting and sleep sex. It's great.
We had chicken sandwiches.
I like your Rush shirt, by the way, Ben. Good.
Thank you. It's for
good timing.
In
it's for Neil
tribute.
Peart, yeah.
Oh yeah,
timing.
That's exactly what I was shooting for.
The Holy Trinity is now.
Yeah.
We're actually going to leave here and go get some dinner at Stoker's and Tamako.
Divine duo.
Divine duo. I like that.
But-
I like
that too.
You should put
Divine
that
duo.
online and pitch that.
But I
me
want
where
to
the
thank you guys for
divine
coming. And listen, this door's always open. Let's do some more stuff together, and let's keep creating
Yo,
content.
do some call-ins for Tornado Tag. It seems like that's like our thing, man.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm down. Listen, you're seeing it here first. This is the beginning. This is the beginning, boys.
I dig it.
All right, that'll wrap it up.
That was
This is
the
part
sleepy
2.
turtle.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time.
Blah blam.
Living my life,
Blah,
just
blah.
living my life, just living my life. It's my time. Just living my life, just living my life, just living my life. It's my time. Athletic at the peak of my life. Slipped a couple times. I was speeding on ice. Never took a risk. Then you cheating your life. You never took a risk. Then you cheating your life. It's a hole in my heart, probably never be filled. And part of me thinks it'll never be healed. I lost some of my family to the dope. Overflow my mind with positive vibes, that's how I cope. They ask if I stop, I tell them no. Speak foul on my name, clean your mouth, that was soap. I'm crying right now while I'm writing this shit. I'm dying inside just from fighting this shit. Amidst all the darkness, I see light in this bitch. Give me one small spark and I'm igniting this bitch.